Hello. I am back with a new video. Okay, this video, I will go through trial 2025. Okay, so this is actually my first video going through the trial 2025 Addmaths paper. Okay, so one student sent it to me on Telegram. This is the Terengganu paper. Yeah, Terengganu, and it's the 2025, and it's my first uh 2025 Addmaths video. Yeah, because so far this is the only PDF I got, so that's why I did this first. Okay, so I'll give you my Telegram ID. So my Telegram ID is CHAN 9262. Okay, so if you all have any more SPM 2025 kertas for Addmaths or Addmaths, and if you want me to go through, you can send it to me through this Telegram ID lah. Okay. Alright. So this video I'll go through the Addmaths paper, and this is the Terengganu one. Yeah, Terengganu Addmaths SAM 2025. Okay. Okay, let's start. Okay, bahagian A, jawab semua soalan. Alright. Number one, okay, solve the simultaneous. This one is form 4 chapter 3. Dalam bahasa Melayu, sistem persamaan, or in English, system of equation. So let's see. Solve the simultaneous equation 2x minus 3y equals 5, 2x squared plus y squared equals 8. Give your answer correct to three significant figures. Okay, few things I want to mention. This is a linear equation, right? Because the highest power is 1, as you can see. And the other equation is a non-linear equation. What is a non-linear equation? Non-linear equation means the highest power is not 1. And also it has maybe, or sometimes it has x, y stick together like that. Alright? So when it has square, when it has x, y stick together, or when it has 1 over x, or 1 over y lah, okay, as long as you have unknown at the denominator, then when it has any of this, we say it's non-linear equation. All right, non-linear equation. So as you can see, this one got square. Yeah, this one got square, so it's a non-linear equation. So this is a linear, this one is a non-linear. So this one you learn under 3.2. Okay, you learn under form 4 chapter 3, 3.2. So for this type of question, you need to use the substitution method, the cara penggantian. Cannot use penghapusan. Yeah, this one cannot use penghapusan. For question yang macam ni, bagi satu linear, bagi satu non-linear, you must use penghapusan. Sorry, you must use penggantian, substitution method, right? So they mentioned here, give your answer correct to three significant figures. Let me tell you what this means. It means later, because whenever you do whenever it's a linear equation and non-linear equation, and then when you do penggantian, substitution, you will always end up with a quadratic. Yeah, you will always end up with a quadratic equation. It means you will have two answers, right? And the quadratic equation, you will usually solve it using the calculator by keying in all the ABC value factorized, right? But if they say correct to three significant figure means what? It means they're trying to tell you the answer for the quadratic equation will be a jawapan yang tak cantik. Yeah, it will not be a good looking answer. That means it will be an answer yang tak boleh tukar fraction one. So later, when you end up with the when you end up with the general form, you will use quadratic formula to solve it. Yeah, the quadratic equation cannot be solved using factorization, right? Okay, with that being said, I will start solving this question now. Okay, all right, let's go. First thing I'll do, I will start with the linear equation. Okay, yeah, always start with the equation that is not so complicated, which is the linear equation. So I'll write it down, and then I will try to find x single or find y single. Okay, dua-dua pun boleh. Because that's how you do substitution, right? You jadikan x or y single and then sub inside the other equation. Okay, let's try to make x single. Minus 3y have to go first, become plus 3y, and then times 2 go next. So now becomes everything divided 2. So I'll call this equation 1 for now. Then the equation 2 will be the other one, the non-linear equation. So I'll write it down here and I'll call this equation 2. And what I will do, substitute 1 into 2. Or you want to write in BM, ganti satu dalam dua, 1 into 2. So what it means by substitute 1 into 2, it means when I write the equation 2, instead of writing 2x squared, I'll write 2 bracket square plus y squared equals 8, because the x I already ganti with 5 plus 3y over 2. I replace the x with 5 plus 3y over 2. Okay, the 2 and 2 cannot cut because the bracket got power. It means you have to do power first. Okay, so the 2 I have to leave it and I have to do power. Okay, when I power, bukan atas saja yang kena power, bawah pun kena power. So 2 power 2, that will be 4. Okay, a lot of students will make mistake here. They will do 5 power 2, 25, and then 3y power 2, 9y square, and then they thought finish already. Okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. Actually, something missing. The 9y square is correct, But there is something you have to do in the middle here, which is 5 times 3y times 2, and you get 30y. Because 5 plus 3y kuasa 2, dia sebenarnya dia punya maksud adalah macam ni. 5 plus 3y square, what it means is 5 plus 3y times 5 plus 3y. That's why you will get 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 3y, 15y. 3y times 5 plus 15y. 3y times 3y, 9y square. So you end up with 25 plus 30y plus 9y square. This is the correct way to do it. That is why here I write 25 plus 30y plus 9y square. Right? Or you can just do it fast. Just take 5 square, which is 25, and then 5 times 3y times 2, which is 30y, and then 3y squared, which is 9y squared. Can also, if you do like that, it will be faster lah. Same as this. The answer is same as this. And then plus with y square equals to 8. Alright, let's continue down here. Now the 2 and 4 can cut. Tadi tak boleh sebab ada bracket square kan. Sekarang sudah boleh cut. So cut. 2 divided 2 is 1, 4 divided 2 is 2. So you left 2 here. So this 3 terms is over 2. But this term, no fraction. This term is no fraction. So to get rid of the fraction, I will take everything times 2 here. So what happens is everything times 2. So it becomes 25 plus 30y plus 9y square plus, when you take this one times 2, it becomes 2y square. 8 times 2 will be 16. Yeah, basically everything times 2 lah. So when you take this whole thing times 2, the 2 hilang already. Because when you times 2, you cut already, right? But the y square also have to times 2, 8 also have to times 2. Okay, now you can see the equation got y square. So this is definitely a quadratic equation involving y, right? So I will susun dalam general form and then solve using the quadratic formula. Because they say give answer in 3 significant figure, right? Okay, 9y square plus 2y square is 11y square plus 30y. And then the 16 have to come here because general form must equal 0. 25 minus 16, that's going to be plus 9, right? So when you reach here, now you don't have to try using factorization method because you know already you can't solve it using factorization method because they say give answer correct to 3 significant figures. That means they're trying to give you clue. They're trying to tell you that this answer confirm is answer yang tak cantik punya. It won't be a good looking answer. It will not be a answer yang boleh tukar jadi fraction. That is why you can't solve it using factorization. So what you have to do, quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula looks like this. Y equals, okay. Okay, usually you write x equals lah. But this question, the quadratic, they use y. So you have to write y. So the formula is negative b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Alright. Oh, just want to mention one thing. The answer you get here would be the same with the answer you get if you just press the calculator. Yeah, if you press A11, B39, B30, C9, the calculator will give you the same answer as the answer you get if you use the quadratic formula. Yeah. Okay, let's go. B. So 30, 30. This one and this one is AA. So 11, 11. And this one is 9. All right. I'm going to continue here. Y equals, draw line. Okay. 2 times 11, I can do that myself, 22. Negative 30, okay, that's negative 30 plus minus square root. Okay, the b square minus 4ac, you can press and see what you get, right? So you will get 504. Okay, so you just write that. And there is a name for this value. We call this the discriminant. Okay, discriminant. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pembeza layan. What is pembeza layan? Pembeza layan, discriminant is the b square minus 4ac answer, right? And the discriminant has to be 0 or positive. Because if it's negative, then there will be no roots already. You can't solve it when the discriminant is negative. Meaning when this number is negative, you can't solve it. Okay, we say that it has no roots if this is negative. But what if this b squared minus 4ac is 0? Then you have one root. Or you can say got 2 equal roots. Yeah lah, because imagine if this is 0, what is square root 0? 0. And then what is plus minus 0? 0 also. So whatever left is just this only. So there's only one answer lah. But what if it's not 0, but instead a positive number? Well, you have 2 different roots because the square root got plus minus. So you end up with negative 30 plus square root 504 or 22. That's the first answer. And I'll just give you the answer now. It will be negative 0.343. And for the other answer, it will be negative 30 minus square root 504 over 22. And you can press using a calculator. So let me press quickly. Divide 22. All right, I got it. Negative 2.38. They say 3 significant figure, right? So yeah, that is why I write everything in 3 significant figure. Okay, the zero before we don't count it as significant figures. So this is 1, 2, 3. This one is not 0, so we can count 1, 2, 3. So that's how you write it. Okay, they ask for 3 significant figure, right? Let's double check. Yeah. Okay, after you're done with this, now you have to cari x. Yeah, it's not over yet. You still have to ganti balik to find x, and I will ganti into equation 1. Okay, because that one already susun nicely for you. So when y equals to negative 0.343, your x will be what? This dot. So your x will be 5 plus 3y over 2. And then the other one, same. When y equals negative 2.38, x equals 5 plus 3 bracket over 2. And this is negative 0.343. This is negative 2.38. So I will use my calculator to help me. Okay. All right. I will press this first because now my calculator, because if I press this, I can use the answer button. So I'm going to press 5 plus 3 times answer. And then answer divide 2. Okay. Let's write in 3 significant figures. So it's negative 1.08. Okay. And then what about this? Okay, 5 plus 3 bracket negative 0.343 total bracket over 2. So 1.9855. But 3 significant figure, 1.99. Okay. So the one we count it as significant figure. Only when the 0 is only when kosong yang depan sini we don't count it as significant figure. Okay. Okay, so it's better to write one more baris. So dot dot dot, the final answer, x equals 1.99, comma, y equals negative 0.343, and use this symbol, dot and then comma, x equals negative 1.08, y equals negative 2.38. Okay, so there's two sets of answers. Okay, and you can't reject any of them. Yeah, I have to take all of it. Yeah, okay. So let me double check and see 1.99. Yeah, correct. Okay, that's all. Let's continue. Okay, number 2, what chapter is this? I think it's a linear law question. So from 4, chapter 6. All right, let's read the question. Diagram 1 shows the straight line graph obtained when y equals 2x over x power 3 minus 8 is converted to linear form. So they are saying that this diagram is a straight line graph obtained when this equation is converted to linear form. It means this equation is not linear form lah. You understand, right? Because if it's linear form already, they will not say this graph is the graph after this one convert to linear form. It means this equation is not convert yet. So I will convert the equation to linear form later. Doesn't matter what they ask me to find. That's how you do linear law question. You always kalau bagi equation terus tukar jadi linear form. Linear form. Doesn't matter it's paper 1 question or paper 2 question. Okay, now here it says express big X and big Y in terms of small x and small y. So yeah, we have to know the big Y and big X. It means we have to know the y-axis and the x-axis if it's in linear form, right? So obviously this is not in linear form. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to change to linear form. Okay, all right, let's think about how to change to linear form. Usually when you change to linear form, you will usually try to make your y-axis in the equation same with the y-axis in the graph. That's how you usually do it, and they will usually give you the y-axis here. All right, yeah, most of the question is like that one. All right, but if you look at the y-axis in the graph, they put a big Y there. That means they don't want to tell you. They don't want to tell you what is the y-axis. Same with the x-axis. They use big X means they want to keep it a mystery. They don't want you to know what's the x-axis and y-axis. So that's the hard part for this question, is they don't want to give you any clue on the y-axis and the x-axis. But usually they will tell you one. Most of the question will tell you one. Even in paper 2, they will tell you plot siapa against siapa. Like for example, plot y square against 1 over x or something like that. But they never tell you for this, right? So that is a big problem, right? But there is one clue that a lot of you maybe don't see it. It's this. This is the clue that will help us. Negative 4. So tell me, what is this? This negative 4 is actually the C, right? It's the y-intercept of this straight line. So this is the C, right? And we all know linear form, we always write it in this format, y equals mx plus c. So now we have something to work with. We have a clue now. We know that the C has to be negative 4. Right? Answer me. Do you see negative 4 here? No. But I know negative 8 divide 2 is negative 4. But hold on. This is 2 divide negative 8. And also you can't divide. You can't just cut like that because there's a minus here. And you can't simplify when there's a minus. Yeah, you can't just cut like that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this upside down, right? I'm going to flip this upside down. But of course, when you flip this upside down, what happens to the other side? Have to flip upside down also. But this one is y over 1. So when you flip upside down, it becomes 1 over y, right? And after I flip it, it becomes x power 3 minus 8 over 2x, right? And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Why I flip it upside down? Because I'm using this, right? I'm working towards this. I'm working towards the C equals -4. That is why I do it. And also, when you flip, you realize now bawah tak ada plus minus already. And bawah ada satu term. So when bawah ada satu term, you can actually separate them like this. Yeah, you can actually separate them into separate fraction. So it will become x power 3 over 2x minus 8 over 2x. Okay. Yeah, when the bottom here got one term, you can do this. Okay. And what I'll do next is, oh, I see -4 already. Now because the -8 divide 2, right? So let's write it here. 1 over y equals, oh, this one also can simplify. The x power 3 divide x, you will left with x squared on top. And then over 2, of course. And then -8 over 2, that's going to be -4, but your x is stay down. Yeah, your x is down, so it stays down. Just the 4 have to tulis atas lah. Alright, I can see that there's a -4 in my equation now, but it's still not linear form. It's still not linear form. You know why? Because if it's linear form, there shouldn't be over x here, right? The c should be a single number and it will be -4. There shouldn't be over x here. So how do you get rid of the x? Very simple. You just times everything by x. In other words, when you write your equation in linear form, your x hanya boleh muncul satu kali on the right hand side. Your x can only appear one time in the right hand side. So your x will actually appear two times, right? So you have to get rid of this x right here. Of course, you can get rid of this x also by dividing by x squared, but I know that would be wrong already because I want my c to be -4, right? Yeah, you want this c to be -4. So obviously you have to get rid of the x here. So the way to do it is everything times x. Because then this one can cut. But this one also have to type x, it become x over y, and x squared over 2 times x, it will be x power 3 over 2. But I will write it like this, 1 over 2 x power 3. Actually, it's the same thing lah, but I write like that because later I know I need my m and x to be separated. Okay, I need to separate my m and x. Okay, I need to be able to look at my m and x clearly later. And then minus 4 over x times x, that's going to be 4. So as you can see, this is linear form already. Okay, yeah, your y mx plus c, everything is like so nicely already. So now you can write this y equals mx plus c. So what is your y-axis? X over y. It means the y-axis is x over y lah. And your gradient is 1 over 2. But I don't think we will use the gradient to answer this question. And then the x-axis is x power 3. And you can see your c is -4, which is perfect match with what the diagram shows us here. C -4. And after you get this, of course, it's not over. The soalan asks for big X in terms of small x. So you have to write down your big X is actually x, small x power 3. And what about your big Y? It's actually x over y. All right? Yeah, because that's what you get in your equation, right? Yeah, so that is the answer. So remember, linear form equation, dia hanya boleh ada x muncul satu kali sahaja on the right hand side. The x can only appear one time on the right hand side, on the right hand side, because it's mx plus c. So the x can only appear one time. One time. That's why when it appears two times, you have to get rid of one of the x, either one lah. But this one, it has to be this one, because if you want your c to be -4, yeah, it means you don't want the c to have any. It has to be a single number lah. So to get rid of the x, that's why I times x to get rid of the x here. Okay, hopefully my explanation got help you understand this question, and I think yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. All right, let's continue. Okay, number 3. This is very obvious. Yeah, the diagram gives it away already. It's Form 4 chapter 1. Okay, the function chapter. So let's read the question. Diagram 2 shows the function fx equals 7x minus 9. Okay, this is important information. So I write down fx, the dot, you write bracket. The arrow, you write equals 7x minus 9. And looking at the diagram also, there's one more information here. And you can see the arrow, right? So fx is 7x minus 9. So it means f2 is m. f2 equals m. In other words, when 2 is object, the image will be m. When you put sub 2 inside the x, it means when you ganti 2 dalam fx punya x, you will get m. That's what it means, right? Okay, so A says find the value of m. Oh, this is easy ma. So m equals to f2 lah. Yeah. In other words, you are finding the image of 2 lah. Basically, you are finding the image of 2. It means 2 is the object, and you are finding the image of that object 2. Okay, so m equals to f2, you just basically just sub only lah. Okay, f2, because fx is 7x minus 9, so f2 will be x replaced with 2, so the x here replaced with 2. So your m is 5. 14 minus 9, 5. So that's it. That's all. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay, let's do b. Okay, b, given that function fx is x plus 4, okay, fx equals x plus 4. Next one, g, okay, this is a composite function. So usually composite, I'll use big bracket like that. Gfx equals to x minus 4 over x plus 1. And they says x cannot equals negative 1. Okay, this is the undefined case for this function right here. Because when x is negative 1, the denominator negative 1 plus 1 will be 0, and you can't divide by 0. That is why x cannot equal negative 1. And then they say find function g, means study gx. Okay, so how do you do it? Okay, this type of equation, this type of question is like very famous in the exam. And it's famous because most students forget how to do it. Yeah, that's why it's famous. Okay, so let me tell you, this type of question actually got possible working, two possible working, ada dua possibilities. Satu kena let, satu tak payah let. And the way I teach my student is tengok dalam dulu. Tengok dalam dulu. Look at the inside function. Kalau dalam ada, kena let. Kalau dalam tak ada, tak payah let. That's how I teach my students. Okay. So, first thing first, let's always start with composite function. Always start with composite function. So, let's write down the composite function. Gfx equals to x minus 4 over x plus 1. Okay, always start with composite. This is the single function. Okay, after you do this, you will, the x minus 4 over x plus 1, you will not do anything with that. That one, nothing you can do. But here, you have to focus on what's inside. Apa yang duduk dalam bracket. So, dalam is fx. And kalau dalam ada, then you have to masuk and then let. Kalau dalam ada lah. Tapi kalau dalam tak ada, then you tengok luar. Because kalau dalam tak ada, luar mesti ada. Okay. And for that one, no need to let. Kalau dalam tak ada, luar mesti tak ada, luar mesti ada, and itu tak payah let. When you have to let is when you ada dalam. Yeah, when you have the inner function, the inside function, that's when you are forced to put in the fx, and you must let afterwards. Because when you put it in, you can't continue from there already, because if you have dalam, means you tak ada luar already. Okay, so let's check now. Dalam is fx. Do I have? Yes, it's given here. That means this one later have to let. So you have to be aware already. Later kena let. This is like kena let punya. Right? That's why I said just now got two possible working, and you have to know both. Okay? Okay, so kena let, but not now. Not now. Now you put in the fx first. So it'll be x plus 4. Right? Now the next step is you have to let. You know why? Because you are stuck here already. Because x plus 4, you have to masuk dalam function gx punya x, but you don't even have the gx. That is why you have to do something different. You have to do the let method. So the method looks like this. You have to let y equals bracket and then cari x, and then rewrite the whole thing. So I repeat, let y equals bracket, cari x from there, and then rewrite the whole thing. So let's go. Let y equals bracket. What's it? Bracket x plus 4, and then cari x, which is y minus 4, because you just pindah the plus 4 here, y minus 4, and then rewrite the whole thing. So it becomes g. Okay, don't write g x plus 4 already. You already let y equals x plus 4, so just replace that with y. And the x minus 4 also, the x will be replaced later. Okay, here is x plus 1. Then the x become y minus 4, y minus 4. Because you already let your yx change to something else, so this one also gonna change to the same thing lah. Alright, your gy now is becomes what? Y minus 4 minus 4 minus 8, y minus 4 plus 1, y minus 3. Okay, I'm done. But the soalan asks for gx, so the last step is very simple. Just change the y to x. So the answer is x minus 8 over x minus 3. But hold on, you can see that the gx function is actually a fraction, and the denominator has x. That means there's an undefined case for this function, and the undefined case will be x cannot equals 3. Okay, yeah, because the denominator cannot be 0, because you can't divide by 0. So x minus 3 cannot equals 0, x cannot equals 3. Okay, but I'm gonna erase this. Yeah, because you don't need to show this. You don't need to show this, right? So I'll just write it beside. Alright, so yeah, that's the answer. Hope you understand. Okay, let's continue. Number 4, this one is vector. So from 4 chapter 8, I think. Yeah, 7 is coordinate, 8 is vector. Yep. Given vector u is 7, 9. Okay, immediately I know this is under coordinate vector. Do you know what is coordinate vector? Coordinate vector is when the vector is in terms of ij. All right. And how I know is in terms of ij is because they write in this format, the bracket format. All right. So the nombor atas is the coefficient of I. That is for the I. This is for the j. So 7 9 is actually means 7i plus 9j. Okay. And this one is actually n minus 1i plus 3j. But you learn it, right? That when it's in ij, you can actually write in this form, like the bracket format. Okay, it's the same meaning lah. It's the same thing. Okay, and you have to know I is for the pergerakan yang kiri kanan, J is for pergerakan atas bawah. So 7 9 means what? Move to the right 7 unit and then move up 9 unit. That's what it means. Okay. Okay. So let's see what the question wants. Find possible value of n if number one U and V are parallel. Okay. There's two method to do this. Two method. Okay. The most famous method, the most used method, everyone knows about this method, which is you just take the two vector equals and then letak lambda. Yeah, this is the, I would say, like, I would call it the textbook method lah. Yeah, I would just call it the textbook method because that's the standard way to do it. Everyone do it like that. Okay, so just remember when two vectors are parallel, you do it like that. Just take the two vector equals and then letak lambda. Okay, the lambda represents the constant for the ratio. Yeah, the lambda is actually a ratio. Yeah, it's a constant and it represents the ratio for u to v, for u ratio v. That's why you have to put the lambda. Okay. Okay, so let's do it like that. 7 9 equals to lambda v and it will be n minus 1 3. Of course, you want to write in terms of ij also can. Okay, now you take the lambda, expand, you times, after you darab masuk, you times inside, then you compare. So lambda times n will be lambda n minus lambda, lambda times 3 will be 3 lambda, and then you compare I with I, j with j. So 7 equals lambda n minus lambda. But of course, we can't solve this first because there's two unknowns. But the bawah one will be 9 equals 3 lambda. So I can find lambda from here. 9 divided 3 is 3, and then sub inside. 7 equals 3n minus 3. So to find 3n minus 3, go there, become plus 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. N is 10 over 3. So that is your answer. Okay. Okay, in the beginning, I told you there's two methods. So I'm going to tell you the other way to do it. So I'll write here alternative. Right? Alternative. So you remember just now the two vector is what? U is 7i plus 9j. And the vector v is given here n minus 1 I plus 3j. Okay, if the two vectors are parallel or collinear, you can there is a faster way to do it. Of course, you do it like that can also. It's a bit slow, but you get the answer also. So yeah. So you get full mark also. But there's another faster way to do it, which is you bulatkan dia punya coefficient first. So what is the coefficient? Coefficient means kali. So the coefficient here is for I is n minus 1. The coefficient of I here is 7. And then the coefficient of j is 3. And then coefficient j is 9. And after you determine all the coefficient, you bahagi. You bahagi. How you bahagi? You can take atas bahagi bawah also can. Bawah bahagi atas also can. Up to you. But since I'm finding n, and my n duduk bawah, I take bawah bahagi atas. So it becomes n minus 1 over 7 equals 3 over 9. Okay. And how do you find n? Yeah, just pindah the 7. So it becomes n minus 1 equals 7. This 3 over 9 can cut, become 1 over 3. So 7 times 1 becomes 7 over 3. And then n equals 10 over 3. Yeah. So you can see the answer is same with this. Yeah, the answer is same, and it's much more faster, right? Yeah, so you can do it like that also. You can do it like that also. Okay. So yeah, that's all. Hope you understand. Okay, let's do number 2 pula. Okay. So I mentioned a bit about this method. So this method you use it when two vectors are parallel, right? One way to do it is you letak lambda, take the two vector equal letak lambda. Another way is you straight away ambil coefficient bahagi coefficient equals coefficient bahagi coefficient. Macam tu. If it's parallel, only do like that. Okay, hope you get it lah. Alright, the next one is modulus u equals modulus v. But actually, hold on, this is not modulus. In this chapter, when you see this modulus symbol, we call it magnitude. We call it magnitude. Okay, so what they want is actually to find the magnitude of vector u and magnitude of v. Okay, to find magnitude of vector, we have to use the formula. So the formula for magnitude is square root bracket square plus bracket square, and the bracket will be the coefficient of ij. It will be the number before ij. So what is the vector u in terms of ij? 7 9. So that means this is the number before ij is 7 and 9. So this is 7 and 9. And then the other side is magnitude of v. So I'll open two brackets also, bracket square plus bracket square. and inside you have to put in the number before ij, okay? Or in other words, the horizontal distance and the vertical distance, because you are trying to find the the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. That's why you, when you use Pythagoras theorem to find the longer side, you will take the horizontal distance plus with vertical distance square and then add together square root. Okay, so for the vector v, it will be n minus 1 and 3 lah. So I'll put n minus 1, but I have to square, and then 3 also have to square. Okay, the next step is how to hilangkan square root. Well, you can square both sides. Yeah, this is a very famous thing to do when there's square root on both sides of the equation. We always do this, just square both sides. So what I mean by that, bracket, bracket, square, bracket, bracket, square. Right? Of course, if there's number here, then that number also have to square it lah. But there's no number there, so that's fine. So what happens when you square root square? The square root and square can cut, can cancel. So what you left with 7 square plus 9 square, you can press calculator and you will get 1 to 1. What about here? N minus 1 square and then plus 3 square, which is 9. Okay. Wait, I actually made a mistake. 7 square plus 9 square is not 1 to 1. It's 130. Sorry. Okay, I want to mention something here. The n minus 1 square, I know some student might be asking like, sir, why don't you expand this? Why don't you kembangkan the n minus 1 square? Okay, yes, n minus 1 square memang boleh kembang. Dia akan jadi n square minus 2n plus 1. Because the n you square, you get n square. And then n times negative 1 times 2, negative 2n, and then negative 1 square. So, which is like that, right? And if you kembang like that, what you have to do next? Susun everything on one side equals 0, and then factorize lah, because it's a quadratic, right? Other square. And then you press the calculator, press the ABC value, and then get the two answer, and then siap, right? But you can see I didn't choose to expand it. And there's a reason why. Because if I don't expand, it's actually much more easy to do. Because I can now pindah the 9, and then pindah the square, and then pindah the 1, right? But sir, what if the answer is not the same? Okay, the answer will be the same. The answer will be the same as if you do it like that, like same as if you expand it. Yeah, you will also end up with two similar same answers, right? I'll show you now. N minus 1 square, yeah, I will not expand it. The reason why is because I'm trying to pindah the square to the other side later. Okay, plus 9 pindah jadi minus, so it become 1 to 1. Now the square have to go. So when the square go, what happens is it becomes square root. But don't forget, when you square root, there's two answer plus minus, right? So now it becomes what? Square root 1 to 1, if you press calculator, is 11. But there's two answers, plus minus 11. So n minus 1 equals 11. Another one, n minus 1 equals negative 11. So your n is equals to 12. And your n here becomes negative 11 plus 1 is negative 10. So that is the two answers, right? And I want to mention, if you expand this, can also. If you expand this, you will end up with this one, right? Can also. But your working will be different. But your answer will be the same as this. Right? So if you expand it, you have to move everything to one side equals 0. You have to susun jadi general form lah. And then baru you factorize using calculator, masukkan dia punya ABC, and then yeah, you will get this also. Okay? Yeah. Okay, that's all. Hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, B, given vector P is m minus 1, 1. Alright, this is also a coordinate vector question, meaning it's in terms of ij punya vector, because they write in the bracket format. So this is the coefficient of I, this one is the coefficient of j, right? Okay, and then vector Q is 9, 8, or you can say 9i plus 8j, same thing, such that m is a constant. Okay, find the value of m if P is perpendicular to Q. Oh, wow. Alright, this is a very rare question. Okay, very rare question, because usually in your syllabus they ask parallel a lot, but perpendicular, this one very rare. Yeah, I actually never see it before, to be honest. Yeah, actually I see it like maybe 2 times throughout my teaching career. Okay, like maybe I see it 2 times. But yeah, it's very rare. It's very rare, and I'm sure most people don't know how to do it when they ask perpendicular vectors, right? Okay, so I'm gonna show you how. There's two method. Yeah, there's two method. Okay, if parallel, how you do it? Parallel. Let's scroll up. If parallel, how you do it? You take the two vector equal and then you letak lambda, right? The alternative way is you take the coefficient, divide with the coefficient, or you can say the number before ij, divide and then equals to the other one, divide, right? That's the alternative way. But for perpendicular, it's different. So the perpendicular way, you do it like this. Come, I show you. You do this. you take the sum of product equals 0. You take the sum of product equals 0. Okay, this one I have to memorize a bit lah. So remember, perpendicular, when two vectors are perpendicular, take the sum of products. Sum of product equals 0. Okay, let me tell you what I mean by sum of product. Sum of product means hasil tambah it means you darab. After you darab, you take the sum of product. Okay, tapi siapa darab siapa? Alright, you will take the number before I times with the number before I, and then plus with number before j times with number before j. So it become m minus 1 times 9 plus with 1 times 8, like that. Yeah. Or you can write 8 times 1 also can, same thing. And now you can solve for m. 9m minus 9 plus 8 equals 0. 9m minus 1 equals 0. 9m equals 1. M equals 1 over 9. And that is the answer. Okay, that is the answer. So I have to memorize a bit lah, this one. So just remember perpendicular, but this one very rare lah. This one very rare. But it's good that they ask in the trial Terengganu. Because now I have the chance to tell you already lah, and you have the chance to learn about this. So remember, perpendicular, just do this. Sum of product equals 0. Take the number before I times with the number before I, plus with the number before j times with number before j equals 0. That's it. You will get answer. Right? Okay, I know the schema did it a little bit different. Right? The schema actually never do it like this. The schema actually use the m1 times m2 equals -1 formula. But yeah, it works also. And let me tell you why it works for this question. Because it's IJ punya question, right? If it's not IJ, then you cannot use this method already. Okay, okay lah. I explain also lah this method. So this method it works is because this one is the horizontal. This is the number before I, and this one is the number before j. So the direction is like this, like this. That is why you can actually find the gradient, because gradient formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which also means you are taking the vertical distance divide with the horizontal distance, right? Because when you take y minus y, what you are actually finding is the vertical distance lah, right? So what you can do is you can take 1 over m minus 1 to find the gradient of this line, because the 1, that is the 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 jarak for the vertical, and then this one is the horizontal, and then multiply with 8 over 9. Yeah, because the number bawah is because what the 9 8 means is like here 9 unit and then here 8 unit. That's what it means, right? So to find the gradient, it has to be 8 divide 9. It cannot be 9 divide 8. Dia kena y minus y over x minus x. Vertical divide horizontal. So the bezel y, so it should be here divide here. That's why it's like equals -1. And then you atas darab atas 8, bawah darab bawah 9m minus 1 equals -1. And then 8 equals, okay, -1 times 9m, -9m, -1 times -1, +1. Nak cari m, so jadikan dia positif, 9m plus 8 pindah jadi -8, 1 minus 8, -9. Negative, wait, -9m plus 1. So 1 minus 8 is -7. Wait, did I did anything wrong here? 8 over 9m. Oh, I know already. 9 times m is 9m. This one is 9. Yeah, I go and write 1 here. 9 times m is 9m. 9 times 1 is 1. So this one mistake. Okay, so let's continue from here. So 8 equals to -1 times 9m is -9m. -1 times -1 is +9. Okay, I want to find m. So let's make it positive. So it becomes 9m. So plus 8 pindah jadi -8. 9 minus 8 is 1. M equals 1 over 9. Okay, you can see the answer is same. Right? The answer is same. But what if I change the question? I write my vector, let's say PQ lah, and RS. But this time I give 2A plus 3B. This one I give MA plus 7B. MA plus 7B. And I said PQ is perpendicular to RS. It's perpendicular to RS. Okay, if it's parallel, how you do? Just take M over 2 equals 7 over 3. If it's parallel lah. Okay? Because parallel, you can just straight away do like that one. Just take the coefficient, divide coefficient, and then equals to the other, divide the other one. Yeah. Kalau parallel. Or you want to use the equal lambda punya cara pun boleh. But if it's perpendicular, we cannot do that lah. We cannot use the same method. So for perpendicular, we have to use this method that I show you. Sum of product equals 0. And if the question is like this, where if it's in terms of AB tak boleh guna cara ni. Because this cara is you finding the gradient, right? And the gradient has to be vertical distance divided horizontal distance. It means this only works if it's ij. Yeah, because the I is the horizontal distance, right? J is the vertical distance. But if imagine if it's AB, then cannot already. Yeah. So for this type of question, kalau dia bagi in terms of AB and they say perpendicular, the only way to do it is sum of product equals 0. In other words, this method that I show you can use for all cases. Can use for all cases. But this method, it only works if it's in terms of ij and if it's asking for perpendicular. Because perpendicular you can do like that lah. M1 times M2 negative 1. Okay, and then find the gradient by taking the number before j divide number before I. Okay, but if it's not ij, you can't use this method. Okay, yeah. So me personally, I will do it like this. Okay, but I know the schema did it like this, so I explain also lah. But actually can use this method for this question because it's ij. Okay, yeah. But the method that I did here, you can use it for all case. It can be ij, it can be ab, mn, hk, whatever. Yeah. So hope you get it. All right. That's all for my explanation. I will just continue. Okay, number 5. Just by looking at this diagram, I know already which chapter. From 5, chapter 1, let's go. The circular measure, sukatan bulatan. Diagram 3 shows sector ABC with center A. So this is the center and this is the sector ABC. Okay, sector consists of 3 lines. Radius, radius, and the arc. So you can see AB, that's the radius. So AC will be radius also. So this will be here also lah. And the arc is this arc BC. Okay, they say AB equals BC equals AC. So AB equals AC equals BC. Oh, it means the BC is also same length, which is P. And now we can actually know the angle already. Because if this 3 side is sama panjang, what shape do we call this? Triangle. But what triangle? Equilateral triangle. What is equilateral triangle? When 3 sides sama panjang. So when 3 sides sama panjang, the 3 angle will also be same size also. So the sum of the total angle inside the triangle is 180. So if the 3 angle all same size, you can take 180 divided 3, you get 60, 60, 60. Right? Okay, I haven't even read what the question says, but it's good that we already, how to say? It's good that I already found out the angle, right? So yeah, when we do MS, always do it like that. Okay, don't care too much about what they ask. Just care more about what you can find and just find it first. Even if they never ask for that, just find it. Okay, who cares? Just find it. It might end up being useful, right? Even if it end up being useless also, it's good that we find it, right? It's good that we find it. Okay, let's go. Find the perimeter in terms of P and pi of the shaded region. So they want perimeter. So what do you think? The angle, will it be useful? Confirm it will be useful lah, because the shaded region is a segment. And when you're finding the perimeter of segment, you need the arc formula and the chord formula. And without the angle, it's not possible to find the length of arc and the length of chord. Okay, so I'm gonna write perimeter of shaded, but I think I have some work to do first. Okay, let's not find perimeter first. Let's find the arc first. Okay, I'm gonna leave some space here. Arc BC. Because the perimeter is this line plus with this line, right? Okay, but actually we already know this line is P. And they already say boleh in terms of P. So later my perimeter of shaded region will just be, oh my god, the spelling all wrong. Okay, so the perimeter of shaded region will just be P, right? Which is the chord's length, P, plus with the answer I get from here lah, which is the arc BC. Because the soalan here says in terms of P. So I don't need to find the P. Right, so let's just find the arc and then just put it in here. Then siap already, right? Okay, the formula for arc is r theta. So r is the radius, and obviously if I'm trying to find this arc, the radius will be the length here, P, times with the angle, but the theta has to be in radian. That is why I leave a space here, because I know I need to convert the angle. So I will write here angle BAC, which is 60 degree, have to times with pi over 180, because that's how you convert to radian. So converting this, you will get how much? 60 times 3.142 divide 180. Okay, I got 1.047 radian, but wait. Do you remember they say they want in terms of pi over 180? So Do you think it's a good idea to press the pi? No, right? Because if you want the answer to have p and pi, you want the p and pi in your answer, that means the p and pi you will not find it. Instead, you will leave it like that so that your answer later have p and pi. So I'll just tekan 60 divide 180. So 618 here will just be 3. So it's pi over 3 radian. And I will not write it in decimal. Yeah, in decimal it will be 1.047 lah. But the reason why I don't write in decimal is because I want my answer to be in terms of p and pi. So here is pi over 3. And when you multiply, you will just get pi p over 3. Okay. The p have to darab atas lah. Right? And this is the length of arc in terms of pi and p. And we can just put it in here. Or let's write cm. And then perimeter of shaded region will be p plus pi p over 3. And that's it. That's the answer. The unit is cm. So I put a bracket and then write cm. Yeah, that's all. Okay. Okay, you can also factorize out the p. So you're left with 1 plus pi over 3 cm. Yeah, can also. But if you stop here also, it's good enough already. Yeah, same thing lah. Okay. So nak buat macam ni, tulis macam ni pun boleh. Nak tulis macam ni pun boleh. Dua-dua betul. Right. Okay. That's all for my explanation. Let's continue. Okay, number 6. I think I know what chapter is this. I see the word log already ma. So from 4, chapter 4 lah. Indices, surd, and logarithms. Okay, let's see what the question wants. Solve the following exponential equation 1 over 3 power, what is this? P equals to 1 over 6 by giving the answer in the form of a plus log b base 3. A and b are constant. Okay, first of all, 1 over 3 and 1 over 6 cannot change to same base. Okay, let's just make that clear. 3 and 6, they can't change to same base. Okay, you don't tell me something like, oh sir, 3 power 2. No, 3 power 2 is 9. Okay, and also when it's indices or, okay, doesn't matter lah, indices or log question, we always want to make them same base, right? So imagine if these two number can change to same base, then it's good. I just change to same base and then I compare and then the power can equal, then done already. Okay, but the problem here is the 1 over 3, 1 over 6 cannot change to same base. Cannot change to same base. So how you do it? Tambah log and don't forget P is what you're trying to find. So soalan yang macam ni yang cannot change to same base, we have to tambah log. And the way to tambah log is you tambah both sides. So here we become log 1 over 3 base P, and then the log 1 over 6 I write here. And what about the log base? Okay, when you tambah log both sides, usually you will use base 10. Or sometimes you will use base E. Okay, but most of the time base 10. Okay, base E is when the soalan got E. When it's a natural log question, when there's E in the question, then I will use log base E. The ln lah, the ln button, right? The natural log. Okay? But for this case, I will do something very weird. I will use base 3. Okay? And I'm sure you know why. I am sure you know why. Because they want the answer in form of A plus log B base 3. Right? I read that already. They already said the answer, your answer have to look like this. It will be like some number, some random number, which is A, plus with log B base 3. So imagine if I use base 10 here, then there's no chance already for my answer to be like that. You faham kan? So you want to work towards this because the answer will look like this. So that is why I use base 3. Right? But if, of course, if you use base 3, then both also have to put base 3 lah. You can put any base you want, but make sure whatever base you choose here, that the other one have to follow. You have to write the same thing. Okay, now what I will do next? Okay, log 1 over 3 base 3. I can solve this. This is negative 1. Because the 1 over 3 is actually 3 power negative 1. And the power you can hantar depan. You can, letak depan. And when you letak depan, it becomes negative 1 times P. And then the log 3 can cut already. So you just left with negative P here. Understand? Okay, but the 1 over 6 and 3, I feel like they all don't have any connection. Because 6 and 3, they don't have any connection. Okay? Because 6 cannot change to base 3. Okay? I told you already, 3 power 2 is not 6. 3 power 2 is 9. So I think I'm stuck here, but it's okay. We will just change the 1 over 6 to 6 power negative 1, just like what I did here. And then the negative 1, I can letak depan sini. Okay? Yeah, you learn this in the law of logarithm, right? The power rule. When the log number got power, you can put it in front like this. Put it before the log. Okay, now you end up here. But don't forget, you want your answer to look like this. A plus log B base 3. And you're trying to find P, by the way. You're trying to find P. So what I'm gonna do is I will write this negative log 36 here, and since I'm trying to find P, I will move the negative over there, becomes negative, negative become positive, right? Because when you pin out negative, it means you are essentially trying to change the sign of it. So you took out under, so it becomes log 36 like that. But there's a big problem. They want your answer in the term in form of what? A plus log B base 3. But my answer is just like a single log. They want it to be single log plus with some random number, like plus with A. So how do we make that happen? How do we make that into like single log plus with a random number? And the random number cannot have log one. It's just a single number like that. So okay, actually I know how. Yeah, actually I know how already. I see it. I don't know whether you see it or not. Some smart students maybe they see it fast. I don't know for you, you can see it or not. But the way to do that is pecahkan the 6 become 3 times 2. And the reason is very simple, because when you change it to 3 times 2, you can see the 3 3 later can cut jadi 1 already, because log 3 3 is 1. Okay, but of course you cannot cut now. You cannot cut now because the bracket, this one is like everything together. So you have to separate the log, and you will use the law of logarithm to separate it. Okay, so let me write down the formula. When you have log AMN, you can separate, become log AM plus log AN. Okay, yeah. So it means single log darab, separate log plus. Okay, so when it's single log times, you can separate it, becomes separate log plus. So this is single log times, right? Yeah. So apply this formula, separate log plus log 3 3 plus log 3 2. And there you have it. That's your answer. P equals 1 plus log 3 2. And as you can see, this answer is exactly in this form, where your A is 1, your plus log 3 is also matched, and then the B is 2, right? But I don't think you have to write A equals 1, B equals 2. No, no, I don't think you have to do that. Because unless the soalan say find A and B, but they never say that. They just say give the answer in the form of, yeah, in this form. So I will just stop here. Yeah, I think done already. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, it's already in the form they want. So this is worth 3 marks. So not too bad. That's all. Let's go. Let's continue. Okay, number 7. What chapter is this? This is progression from 4, chapter 5. Damia Furniture Company successfully sold 30,000 dining table sets in 2019. So this is the sales for 1 year, the whole year 2019. Each year, okay, it means every year, the company's sales dining table set increased by 2.5%. Okay, geometric progression. Because when you increase by a percent, it means you will always darab with a value. It means darab. So if it's darab, times, is a geometric progression. So later I have to use geometric punya formula. And then A says find total number of dining tables set from 2019 to 2025. Okay, let's not think too ahead first. Let's not do the A first. They want too far already. We need to get our A and R first, and also we need to write down our progression. Yeah, we need to form the progression ourselves. So this progression is about what? Dining tables sold, right? So I'm just gonna write number of uh tables sold lah. Yeah, just make it simple. Tables sold. All right. So number of tables sold, and the progression, first term will be 30,000. Okay, but I will write the year also. Yeah, 30. Okay, let's not write comma. So just 30,000, and this one is 2019, and that's our first year sales, right? And then each year the company sales increased by 2.5%. So what do you think I have to times here, right? I have to times with 2.5%, which is 30,000 times 2.5 divide 100, and then take the answer plus with 30,000, right? But that is too slow already. You just darab with 102.5%. Because you darab 2.5%, after you darab and then you plus with the original value. It means you plus with 100%. So why not you terus darab dengan just plus 100 lah. Because you increase. So you just plus with 102.5%. Yeah, this is the fast way to do it. So I'm going to press now. 30,000 plus 102.5 divide 100. So I get 30750. And let's times one more time. Answer times 102.5 again. So you get 31. Yeah, 31518.75. Okay, no need to write so many terms. The first 3 terms is enough. So this one is 2020 punya sales. This one is 2021 punya sales. Okay. Okay, so this is our progression. Okay. You can also do it another way, which is you darab 2.5%, and then after that, baru you plus with the original value. Can also you end up with the same thing. Okay. Okay. Now let's write down our A and R. Yeah. Okay. So your A is 30,000. That's the first term, and then your R common ratio would be this term 30750 divide 30,000, and if you tekan that, you will get 1.025. Yeah lah, because from here to here you times 102.5 divide 100 mah. Here to here also you times with 102.5 or 100. So of course the R will be 1.025. lah. Okay. Okay, so after you do all this, now only you focus on what the question asks. So the A says find the total. Total. That's the keyword. It means they want the sum, total. Number of dining tables sold from 2019 to 2025. It means you want to find the SN. You want to use the SN formula. But S berapa? Okay, 2019 to 2025. So you want to find this term plus this term plus this term until the 2025, right? So you can use your finger to count. So this is your hand. Yeah, I try my best to draw a hand, and this is your thumb, right? Okay, very nice. Yeah, very nice fingers, very nice hand. Okay, so so how do you count it? Use your hand. Okay, this one is 19. 2019, that's the first year, from 2019 included. 2019 also included, and then plus with 2020 sales, plus with 2021 sales, plus with 2022, plus with 2023, plus with 2024, plus with 2025. And as you can see, they want 2019 to 2025. So as you can see, it's 7 lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You use your hand to count. It means you are finding the total sale for the first 7 months. So S7. And why S is because total number of dining tables sold from 2019 to 25. It means the total accumulated for the first 7 years. That's why you have to sum it up. You have to total sum hasil tambah. Okay. If you find T7, you're only finding the 2025 fifth year punya sales. They want the from 2019 to 2025 punya total number. That is why it's S7. Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna use the SN formula. All right. Do you know what's the SN formula for geometric progression? So the formula looks like this. A bracket 1 minus r power n over 1 minus r, or it can also be Sn equals a bracket r power n minus 1 over r minus 1. Okay. We use this when our r is bigger than 1, and we use this when our r is smaller than 1. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. My question now, my r is 1.025, so bigger than 1. So bigger than 1, we have to minus 1 or 1 minus? Mestilah minus 1, because you bigger than 1 You besar. You bigger than 1, so you minus 1. If you smaller than 1, then only you 1 minus. Okay, so I'll use this formula. So I will have to put in the A. So plug that in, 30,000. And then bracket r power n, that's going to be 1.025 power 7 minus 1. Okay, Kautim. And then over r minus 1, which is 1.025 minus 1. Okay, now everything just depends on the calculator already. So let's press everything. Okay, 30,000 bracket 1.025 power 7 minus 1, close the bracket. Okay, I got 5660.57. But that's not the final answer. But I will just write it down first. Over 1.025 minus 1, that's going to be 0.025. Okay, now I'll use the answer button so that it's more accurate. So I'll just tekan answer divide 0.025. So 226422. Tutu Narikomo Tutu. Okay. So 0.9044. Okay. Okay, I just write everything. Okay. Wait, hold on. This is the total number of dining table sets sold. So when you sell a dining table set, you will your bilangan cannot have the decimal one. Okay. Yeah, because this is about number of dining table set, right? And when you sell a dining table set, you sell it one by one. You don't sell it like zero point 0.9 or half of it. Nah, no. Right? So remember, bilangan tak boleh ada negative, tak boleh ada decimal, tak boleh ada fraction. It means you have to take the whole number. So the answer will be 226422. Okay, some student they always confuse this part. They will say like, hey sir, not 226423 because they always think like, oh this one 9 so I have to plus 1. Bukan tengok macam tu bukan tengok like, oh this one more than 5 or less than 5. No 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 no. We don't tengok macam tu. We have to tengok macam mana tau. We have to tengok macam ni. The sum of first 7 year is 226422.9044. That means we only count this. These are already the sold one. But the extra 0.9044, it doesn't reach 1 yet. It haven't reached 1 yet. So we don't count that as one completely sold. We don't count it as one complete dinner table set because it's just 0.9044 set. So that doesn't count as one. That's why there's only 226422 that are sold, right? And I think I will write the unit also, number of dining table set. So I'll just write dining table set. Dining table set. That's the total dining table sets sold in the first 7 years lah. Okay, so you understand why the 9044 I never plus 1 become 2 3 here. Okay, because we don't count that as one table set. Yeah. So yeah, because if you say 6423 it means you sell 226423, but no, the 0.9044 we don't count it as one. So yeah, that's all. Okay, let's do B. So I'll do it here. If 24% of the dining table set sold from 21 to 25. Okay, let's see. 2021 is here. Okay, we all know 2025 is the T7, right? So 2025. And the reason I know is because I used my finger just now. So this one is T7. And they say what? 24% dining table set sold from 2021 to 2025 are round dining tables. And 15% are square dining table. Calculate the sum of round dining table sets and square dining table set. Okay, before I find the sum of round set and square table set, I have to find the round table separately first. Yeah, I have to find the round table set and the square dining table set separately first. And then only I plus them together. Okay. So I will write here B, my B working. So how do I do it? Okay, this one like that. So I will do this. I will take, because 24% is the round dining table, right? But it's 24% of the dining table set sold from 2021 to 2025, right? So I think I have to find out the dining table set sold from 2021 to 2025. Then only I can take the answer times 24% to get the round, and then 15% times that to get the square, right? So I think I have to find the dining table set sold from 2021 to 2025, right? Okay, if I want 2021 to 2025, I need to do S7 minus S2. I need to do S7 minus S2 because uh you want from the third year until the 7th year. Yeah, this is T3, right? T1, T2, T3. So if you want the third year, from the third year to the 7th year, you have to do S7 minus S2. Okay. But the S7, I already know the answer. It's 2264, 22. But minus with S2. Okay, S2, of course, you can use the SN formula again, but I will not do that. Because since I have the first two terms already, I will just take the two terms, add together. 30,000 plus 30750. Okay, but of course you have to put bracket lah, because you have to plus first, right? Yeah, so you get 60750 here. Yeah, because the sum of first two terms is this, right? So 226422 here. In other words, the 226422 is the sum from here to here, but I minus with these two lah to get the remaining balance, because that's what I want. Okay, so I'm looking for the third year until 7 year. So let's press this and see what we get. 226422 minus 60750. Okay, it's 165672. Okay, so this is the number of dining table sets sold. Okay, 165672. But this one is from year 2021 to 2025 lah. But they say 24% is round, right? So I'm just gonna write round here for the title. So for the round one, it will be 24% times with 165672, and then equals. And then for the square, is it? Yeah, 15% are square, right? So it will be 15% multiply with 165672, and then do that. And then these two answer plus together to get the final answer, because they want to find the sum, right? Sum of round and square. Okay. Okay, so let me make space here. I need space. Okay, another way to do it is actually just take the 24% plus with 15% now. So 24 plus 15 is 39, right? So yeah, you can also just take 39%, multiply with this. Yeah, that one also can. You will straight away get answer. Okay, what is 24? 100 times with this. So you will get 39761. So 39761. Actually 0.28. 0.28. But we will not write the 0.28 lah. Just 39761. Because this one is number of apa dining table set sold. So it cannot have decimal, cannot have fraction, cannot have negative. It has to be like a integer lah. Okay. Okay, this one also same. 0.15 times 165672. Okay, I got 24850.8. 24850.8. But do you think we count the 0.8? No. It's just 24850. Okay. Because the extra 0.8, we don't count it as 1 unit. So we don't count that. Okay, now for the final answer, calculate sum of round and square. So the sum is this one plus this one lah. 39761 plus 24850. So let's count that. 24850 plus 39761. Okay, 64611. Okay, so that is the answer. So the sum of round dining table sets and square dining table is this. That's the sum. Okay, hope you understand. I'm done with this question. Let's move on. Okay, let's do number 8. Okay, this is very obvious lah. I see cos. I know already which chapter. From 5, chapter 6. It's called trigonometric function. Okay, this question they asked me to sketch the graph for y equals cos 2x plus 1. Okay, this one, the sketch punya, sometimes they ask in paper 2. But sometimes they ask in paper 1. And obviously for this paper, Terengganu, they ask in paper 1 lah. Okay, they want you to sketch for 0 until 2 pi. That means I don't have to erase any extra part later. 0 until 2 pi means 0 until 360. So we don't have to erase anything. Just do for 360. So I will try to draw this now. Okay, the way I always teach is I always tell my students to, before you draw any graph, not just the trigonometric graph, you should always know how the shape looks like. And you need to have a rough idea. You have to roughly know the shape and also the position, the x-intercept, the y-intercept, like roughly know it, before drawing it. So for this type of trigonometric graph, I will do it beside first. Okay, but this is not the real one. This one is just I conteng dulu lah. Okay, it's just a testing one. I just do a testing one. So what is the meaning of cos 2x plus 1? Okay, cos 2x here means you have to draw two cos graph in 360 degree. You kena lukis berapa cos graph? Dua cos graph, tapi dalam 360 ya. So it'll be like this, it'll be like this, right? And this is 360, which is 2 pi. Okay. Okay, if it's one cos graph, the coordinate here will be 1, 0, 1, and then this one is 90, 0. And then this one is 180, negative 1. And then this one is 270, 0. And then this one is 361. If it's just one cos graph. But when it's cos 2x, the graph will get compressed horizontally. It means this graph I have to compress it. I have to push here, push. Because why? Because instead of one cos graph in 360, now it's two cos graph in 360. That means all these points will get pushed back. And where it will get pushed back, instead of okay, this will not get pushed back, of course, because the x coordinate is 0. So when you take 0 divide 2, it will still be 0 lah. But this 90 it will not be at 90 already, it will be at 45 already. Yeah, this is 45. Okay. And then this 180 negative 1 would be 90. Okay. Yeah, your 90 is here. Okay. 270 divide 2, it will be 135. So this is 135. And then 360 divide 2 will be 180. So this is 180. And then the middle one is the 45 and the 135. Understand? Yeah, so basically all the points now, you have to divide by 2. The x coordinate only, the x coordinate divide 2. And the reason is because cos 2x. If it's cos 3x, then the x coordinate divide 3. Okay? So these are all your the coordinates. Okay? And then, the rest will be like natural. Yeah, just repeat the same thing again here. Okay? And it's not over yet. I have to plus 1. Oh my god. Okay, when I teach student the plus 1, what the plus 1 means is the whole graph have to move up 1 unit. You have to move vertically upwards 1 unit. And the way I teach is always just go to the y-axis and then potong, 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 everything plus 1. So 1 plus 1, 2, 0 plus 1, 1, -1 plus 1, 0. And when you do this, when you take all this value plus 1, you need to be aware of where is the new 0. Yeah, because the new 0, that would be your new x-axis position. So as you can see, your 0 is no longer here, it's down here already, right? So where is your new x-axis? This one, right? But it's okay if your drawing is not that nice, because this is not the real one, this is just the testing, yeah, right? And of course, later when you draw the real one, the old one have the old x-axis, you have to erase it, of course, right? Okay, with this and with all the points, I think I can draw the real one already, right? So I'm gonna draw the real one now. So I know there's no graph below the x-axis. So I'm just gonna put my x-axis as further down as possible, like that, because there's no action here, so we don't have to leave any space for that. And then here there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 90, 180, 270, 360. But in radian is 2 pi, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. And there's 2 points that we need here, 1 and 2. So I'm just gonna choose 1 here, and then 2 will be here. This is my y, this is my x. Okay, the coordinate I know it's here, and the next one will be at 1, but this will be 45. So I think everything here I have to cut like that. So it'll be 45 1, so it's here, and it will be like this. Okay, 90 0, and then when it goes up, it will be 1351, as you can see from here, and then the 180 is here. Okay, and then repeat the same thing, L L, and then L. Did I make a mistake? So wait, here. Okay, so this one is when it's 1, right? And then when it's 270, that's when it's here lah. And then when it's 315, that would be 1, and then this one is will be here. Yeah. So now I can join. So I will join. I will join. I will join. I will join. Okay, actually for my trial videos, if you're familiar with the way I do this kind of question, the way I teach is there's another method I teach, which is you take this whole thing, you sub 0 1 -1. Okay, that method will take a longer time to do it, but that method, if you remember that method, you want to do that method, can also. Okay, that method is basically, if you do that, you will get all the exact coordinate for all the points. Okay, yeah, you will end up with all this exactly the exact the exact coordinates, and then you can just join them, right? But of course, if you have the ability to find out the coordinate without doing the working, and if you are very confident, you can just do it like me, like just plot, and then yeah, it's actually not that hard, because if you know the coordinate for cos 1 graph, you can actually know the coordinate for cos 2 graph, because basically what you're doing is just taking all the point and you push back, and when you push back, what happens is all the x coordinate of this point divided by 2. Yeah, so that's why I know how it looks like for the first cos graph. And then the next one is just repeat the same thing as what you did just now. Okay, that's your answer. Y equals cos 2x plus 1. So this is part A lah. Then they say draw from 0 to 2 pi, and yeah, so that's the answer. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down a bit and do B. So B, hence using the same axis, sketch a suitable straight line graph to find the number of solution to this equation. Cos 2x equals 1 minus x over 4 pi. So I'll write that down. For 0 until 2 pi, state the number of solution. Okay, yeah, this is memang a very common question lah. They always ask this after they ask you to sketch the trigo graph. They always ask to draw another straight line and find the number of solution. Okay, when you want to find number of solution, it means you are finding the number of intersection point, right? It means later you have to draw a line and then find out how many times the straight line intersect the cos graph. Okay, but before drawing the line, you need to find out the equation of the line first. And equation of straight line is usually y equal mx plus c. But if you look at the equation they give us, it doesn't even have y. It doesn't even have y. So our mission now, our job now is to make it supaya dia ada y. It means like we're trying to change so that it has y. There's no y now, right? So how can we make it into how what we should do so that the equation has y? We will refer our A question. So our A question says y equals cos 2x plus 1. So I will try my best to change the equation so that it has cos 2x plus 1. Because y is equals to cos 2x. Because I want it to have y lah, that's why. So what I can see is sini ada cos 2x. If I move the 1 over, it doesn't help. Because the plus 1, when you move, become cos 2x minus 1. I don't want that. I want cos 2x plus 1. So what I will do is I will take the left hand side plus 1. But of course, the right hand side also have to plus 1. Like that. Plus 1, plus 1. Okay. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I know cos 2x plus 1 is equals to y. So now I can write y, and then 1 plus 1 will be 2 minus x over 4 pi. And there you have it. That's the equation of straight line. Okay. Y equals mx plus c. And you can see the x duduk atas. Right? Yeah, even though it's not arranged nicely in the format, in the y equal mx plus c format, but you know it's a straight line. Yeah. Because the x duduk atas. If the x duduk bawah, then it's another story already. Yeah? If the x duduk bawah, then it's not a straight line. It's a curve already. Okay. Okay, but this one is a straight line. Now you can just find the coordinate and then just plot it here. Then find the number of solution. Okay. When you find coordinate, usually we sub x0. Yeah, because you will get the y-intercept straight away if you sub x0. 0 divided 4 pi is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. So that's your y-intercept 0, 2. I will use another color for this. 0, 2. So it's here. That's the y-intercept of the line. Okay, I need another point. So later I can join. I can maybe sub 2 pi lah. Or maybe pi also can. Okay. Okay, let's sub pi and see what happens lah. Okay, pi I cut. So left with 1 over 4. 2 minus 1 over 4 is 7 over 4. Right? But I don't like this lah. 7 over 4 is like a bit hard to plot. So let's not do that. Let's sub 2 pi. Okay, x is 2 pi. 2 pi. So imagine this is 2 pi. Cut. Left with 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2. And then you press calculator lah. 2 minus 1 over 2. 2 minus 1 over 2. 3 over 2 lah. Which is 1.5. This one, I can plot it easily. Where is 2 pi, 3 over 2? Okay, 2 pi is here. 3 over 2 is 1.5. So 1, 2 middle here is 1.5 lah. So, but it's at 2 pi. So I think it's here. Okay. 2 pi, 1.5. Right? Okay, now you can use your ruler. Join this 2 points like that. Okay, but not too long. Only until 2 pi only. They already said draw the line until 2 pi only. So we cannot extend the line. Just stop here. Right? And of course, we have to write the equation of the line also. Y equals 2 minus x over 4 pi. Okay, now we can find our NOS. So number of solution would be the number of intersection point. Berapa kali dia intersect? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you know why this one count as 4? Because you remember the course graph just now, it starts at 0, 2, right? And the straight line also start at 0, 2. It means they both start at the same point. So definitely here they will touch one because they start at the same point, right? Yeah, that's why it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of solution is 4. Okay. Yeah, the number of intersection is 4. So the number of solution is 4. Okay. All right. That's all. Hope you understand. Okay, number 9. Okay, for this 9a, I will do it up here. Okay, I'll do it up here. Okay, let's write the chapter first. Form 5, chapter 2. Okay, so I'm gonna read the question first. Okay, given two function ux and vx. Okay, and then using differentiation from first principle, prove the product rule below. Okay, when we learn this chapter, we learn about the product rule, right? And the product rule formula actually looks like this: dy dx equals to sin u differentiate v plus sin v differentiate u. So u dv dx plus v du dx. Yeah, this is the formula we learn, right? The product, this is called the product rule. Okay? But sir, why this one is very different one? Okay, actually it's the same. They just write it a little bit differently. Come, I show you. This one is the y lah. Yeah, because dy dx, right? So this one is the y. So your y is actually u times v. Ux times vx. Okay, and then this one ux, this one is the u lah. Yeah, ux means u lah. And then v prime is the differentiate v dv dx. Okay, and then the plus, that's the plus lah. And then the vx, that's the v lah. And then u prime, that's the du dx. And when you combine everything, you get this. Yeah. So basically, is the product rule is they just write it a little bit differently by adding the bracket x. But I want you to know this one and this one is the same formula. Okay. If you look at the left side, also is same dy dx, right? You see, this one also d over dx. It's just that the y they write in the middle here and they change to ux vx. Yeah, so it's the same. Okay. Okay, so in now I will teach you how to prove the product rule. Okay, because they're asking you to prove, right? And they said using the first principle. Okay. Okay, before I start, there's a few things you need to know. When we are doing first principle, there is a formula that you always use, right? Dy dx equals to limit delta x going to 0 for delta y delta x. Yeah, whenever we do first principle, we will always use this formula, right? Because dy dx is equals to this. So can you tell me du dx equals to what? Du dx. Limit delta. Okay, this one I should write it up already. Yeah. So du dx. Okay, I make it smaller. So the du dx equals to limit for delta x approaching 0 for delta u delta x. It's like basically the same thing as this. Just the y change to u only. Then what about dv dx? The limit delta x approaching 0 for delta v delta x. Okay, and trust me, later you will need this to, because when you prove this formula, you need the du dx dv dx inside, right? So definitely you'll be needing this, right? Okay, with that being said, now let's learn how to prove the product rule. First thing first, you let your y equals to uv first. Yeah, because you remember your y is actually the ux times vx, right? But I will not write the bracket x. I will just like write the uv. So u represents a function and v represents another function, and uv is the product, the hasil darab, the u times v. Okay, so you let your y equals uv, and what you're gonna do is you will use the first principle method, and when we do first principle, the y will be changed to y plus delta y. Okay, and then the u will be u plus delta u, and then the v also v plus delta v. Okay, yeah, so the first few steps you have to remember lah for the proving. Okay, yeah, the first few steps you have to remember. Okay, so that's the first step. Next step is you have to expand this, right? Expand this. So when you expand u times v, you get uv. U times delta v, you get u delta v. Delta u times v, that will be v delta u. Delta u times delta v, that's going to be delta u delta v. And this is y plus delta y. But at the same time, the y you can sub with the uv here. And later the uv you can cancel. Yeah. So you write uv here. And why I say can cancel? Because this one uv minus uv is 0. Okay. So this is your delta y equals to this one, this one, this one lah. Okay, what you have to do next? Don't forget that we are trying to find dy dx here, right? Remember this? Dy dx is limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y delta x. So we want our delta y over delta x. That's what we want. Delta y delta x. Okay. So now it's delta y, right? But you can see here there's no delta x. So what I will do now is I will take every term here, divide with delta x. Okay, because I'm trying to get delta y or delta x. So to get delta y or delta x, I will divide with delta x. But of course, I have to do the same for everyone here. So it becomes u delta v over delta x, right? Plus with v delta u over delta x, plus with delta u delta v over delta x, like that. Okay, and now what we will do is take the limit for everyone here. Take the limit for everyone here. Okay, so limit delta x going to 0, delta y delta x. Okay, the u I will just write it, and then take the limit for this also. Limit delta x going to 0, delta v over delta x, plus with v, and then take the limit for this, delta x going to 0, delta u over delta x. Same thing here, take the limit also, delta x going to 0, delta u delta v over delta x. Okay, what's next? I need space. Oh my god. Okay, let's make some space here. Okay, the next step, I'll write here, is you have to write when delta x going to 0 and delta v going to 0. Meaning the delta x have to sub 0, delta v have to substitute 0, right? So what happens to this equation now? Okay, this will become dy dx already. Yeah, this will become dy dx already, because you remember I told you, right? Dy dx is actually limit delta x going to 0, delta y delta x, and you can see the limit delta x 0, delta y delta x is already same with this. So that's the dy dx, right? And it will be equals to what? U, okay, so just write U. And what is limit delta x 0 dv dx? That's the dv dx, right? Because you see, this one, limit delta v delta x 0 is the same as this, right? So this is the dv dx. And then plus with, some of you might be confused about this part where the delta x approaching 0, right? Okay, you cannot sub the delta x 0 here is because when you sub, the denominator will be 0 and you can't divide by 0. That's why, yeah, we never do that, okay? So just change the whole thing to dvdx like that, right? Same thing here, you can't divide by 0, so you just write v, and then for the limit delta x approaching 0, delta u delta x, that will be this one lah, right? So limit delta x going 0 du dx. So this one is du dx, right? Okay, but the last one, you can see the delta v have to sub 0 also. So actually you can sub 0 here, right? And what happens when you sub 0 here? 0 times delta u will be 0, 0 divided whatever is 0 also. So the whole thing here actually is 0. So actually this whole thing gone already. Yeah, like the plus 0 no need to write already because this whole thing becomes 0. And there you have it. That's the product rule. Okay, and you can see this one is exactly the same as what I write here. Okay, this one and this one same, right? Okay, but the one they asked us to write is a bit different, right? It's okay, we just change a bit, it will become the same already. So d over dx. Okay, you remember the y, first I let y equals to uv, right? So your y change back to uv lah. Okay, but the way they write it is like ux vx, right? Yeah, because sometimes when we write y, we write fx, right? Yeah, so that's the way they write it. So let's just follow. So we just write y, which is u times v, in other words ux times vx, and then top bracket equals u. Okay, I write u but they write ux, but it's the same. U and ux is the same. And I write dv dx but they write v prime x, but they are the same. Yeah, okay. V prime x means the first derivative for v lah, dv dx. And then plus with v du dx. Okay, I need more space. Okay, so v du dx. So v and then du dx, that's gonna be u prime x like that. Okay, I forgot something. Okay. Vx and then u prime x like that. Okay. Okay, what happened here? Dx. Okay. So this is how I would do it. Okay, as you can see, this is already the same with what they want us to prove here, right? So they want us to prove. So after we are done, just write the word proven. Yeah, so that's how I would do it. Okay. Okay, this is how I prove the product rule. All right, that's all. Okay, second question. This is also same chapter, the differentiation. Okay, differentiate 2x minus 3 power 4, 3x plus 2 with respect to x. This one you have to use the product rule lah. Yeah, the product rule. This one. We use this one. So how do you do it? Okay, how to write? First of all, how to write? Okay, differentiate is d, and then with respect to x is over dx. And they say differentiate this, so this is your y. Okay, but you can also just write it like this: 2x minus 3 power 4, 3x plus 2. Yeah, like that. And then equal, 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 and then you start to differentiate this. Okay. Okay, let me explain to you why I need to use product rule. It's because you can't expand. Okay, it's very difficult to expand this, right? It's very difficult because this one is power 4, this one is power 1. So when you expand everything, there will be 5 bracket, and it will be, yeah, you can't expand this, right? That is why we use the product rule. So when will you use the product rule? When you can't expand. Yeah, when it's too hard to expand, that's when you use product rule. Okay. Oh, one more. Uh, when it's too hard to expand, you can do it. Okay, what if imagine one day it's like that, and you're trying to differentiate this. Okay, this one you will don't use product rule for this one. This one, you can take the 7 pindah depan, and then 2x minus 3 power minus 1, and then differentiate bracket. Yeah, this one just do it like that. Okay. When will you use product rule is when you can't expand, and also the power you cannot hantar depan because depan already have x here. That's when you use the product rule. Just like this one, as you can see, you can't expand, and also the power you can't bring in front because in front the 3x plus 2 is essentially here. Okay, and there's x there, right? Same with kalau this power 1 you bring in front also cannot because there's x here. That is why we have to use product rule lah. Okay. All right, so this is my u, this is my v, and the formula is sin u differentiate v plus sin v differentiate u. So sin u 2x minus 3 power 4 differentiate v means differentiate 3x plus 2, differentiate 3x is 3, differentiate 2 is 0, so that's it. Plus with sin v differentiate u, sin v will be 3x plus 2, right, in bracket. Differentiate u is differentiate 2x minus 3 power 4. This one you use this method. Use this method I show you. So differentiate 2x minus 3 power 4. Okay, the 4 now can hantar depan because you already separate the u and v. So now you can separate, differentiate them separately. So the 4 in front and then 2x minus 3. And then the power have to minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. And don't forget to differentiate dalam bracket sekali. So differentiate 2x is 2. Differentiate negative 3 is 0. Like that. Yeah, the method I write here lah. Okay, now after you reach here, you can arrange a bit. And also I realized something. You can see these two terms, they both can divide with 2x minus 3. And this one is 2x minus 3 power 4, this one 2x minus 3 power 3. So later, we can actually factorize the 2x minus 3. So I will keep that in mind. And when I write it, I will write the 3 first, followed by 2x minus 3 power 4 plus, okay, the number and number, one term, single term, I will times them together. 4 times 2 is 8. But this one has two terms, so I will not expand. I'll write it beside like this. And then 2x minus 3 power 3. And now time to factorize. 3 and 8, we cannot factorize anything. But 2x minus 3 power 4, 2x minus 3 power 3, both can divide by 2x minus 3 power 3. So I will factorize out 2x minus 3 power 3 and then use a big bracket. And then write whatever that's left, just write it inside here lah. So the 3 is still inside. 2x minus 3 power 4, I already take out 2x minus 3 power 3. So what is power 4 divided by power 3? Power 1. So you left with 2x minus 3 power 1. But the power 1 no need to write. Plus, okay, the 8, okay, I actually didn't take out any number here, so the 8 has to be still inside. 3x plus 2 also, I never take it out, so it's still inside. 2x minus 3 power 3, I take out 2x minus 3 power 3, so nothing left. So just close the bracket. Now, we do whatever inside the big bracket. So 2x minus 3 power 3, this is already part of the answer. Yeah, that's already part of the answer. You just have to solve for. You just have to buat yang dalam ni. So 3 times 2x, expand 6x, 3 times negative 3, negative 9, plus 8 times 3x, 24x, 8 times 2, 16. And then 2x minus 3 power 3. X dengan X boleh buat, number dengan number boleh buat. 6 plus 24, 30x, negative 9 plus 16 plus 7. Right? Okay, after you done differentiating, always ask yourself this. Can you factorize this? If no, that means you finish already. But if you can still factorize, means you're not done yet. You have to factorize completely, then only your answer is considered finished. Okay, then only you are finished. So let's check. Can you factorize this? I don't think so. 30 and 7, can I factorize? No. 30 and 7, you can't divide with any number, right? 37 cannot divide with any similar number. Okay, so because 7 is prime number. So yeah, that's all. That's the answer. Okay, all right, let's move on. Okay, soalan B. What chapter is this? I feel like it's still differentiation. Yeah, because it's still the same question. So yeah, it's also from 5 chapter 2 lah. Okay, let's read. Alam Jaya Holding is a construction company that offers the Rumah Ramah package at an affordable price. If the annual production cost Kn for producing n units of house is given by equation Kn equals 2n square minus 100n plus 1375000. So this is obviously a formula to find the annual production cost. So I'll write it down. Kn equals to 2n square minus 100n plus 1375000. Okay, this is the formula to find the annual production cost because they says Kn represents annual satu tahun production cost. Okay, then sir, what is the n? Okay, the n is the units of house, right? So I'll just write here units of house. That's the n, including this n also lah, and this n also. So let's say I want to know the annual production cost for 2 unit of house. Then I just ganti the n 2 here, 2 here, and then I press everything. Then I get the annual production cost. Yeah, that's what it means. Okay, let's see what it says. Determine number of n. Okay, so they want to find n that need to be produced to minimize the annual production cost by using calculus method. Calculus means differentiation. Okay, and then hence calculate the company's annual production cost. Okay, the keyword here is minimize. Okay, so whenever you see the word minimize or minimum, maximum, stationary point, turning point, you will always do dy dx equals 0. Yeah, that's what we learned in differentiation, right? So when you do minimum, maximum turning point, yeah, you are finding the minimum point or maximum value. Yeah, you will always do dy dx equals 0. Okay. So what you have to do now is you have to differentiate this and then take the whole thing equals 0. Okay. And they want to find the minimize the annual production cost, right? So, and they say using calculus method. So yeah, you do k prime n. Okay. The prime here means differentiate. Differentiate. Okay. So you differentiate this, and then after you differentiate equals 0. And after you equals 0, you find n, and that will be the n answer. But then they say find the k also, right? The cost also. Okay, but that one later. So now let's differentiate 2n square, you get 4n. Because 2 times 2 is 4, and then power minus 1, n square become n power 1. Minus, differentiate 100n, that's going to just be 100. And then differentiate the 137,500, this one whole thing becomes 0 when you differentiate. Okay. And then now, I'll write when mt equals 0. And then 4n minus 100 equals 0. Okay, what is mt? Mt means gradient tangent. Okay, and why I write gradient tangent equals 0? Because minimum, I'm trying to find the minimum value, the minimum. And when it's minimum, the gradient tangent would be 0. In other words, the dy dx would be 0 lah. But in this case, they never use dy dx. They use like kn. So it's like dk dn equals 0 lah. But whatever lah, it's not that important. Okay. Yang penting is you take the differentiate answer equals 0. Okay, now you can find your n. Negative 100 move there become positive 100 divide 4 is 25. So the question asks to determine number of n, that's your n. But it's not over yet. They said after you find the n that need to be produced to minimize by using calculus, hence calculate the company annual production cost, means they want to find the k also. So to find the k, the corresponding value of k, you just sub the n25 inside here. So it becomes you are finding k for 25. The cost for the production cost for, I mean the annual production cost for 25 units of house, right? So just sub the n with 25, 25, 25. That's how you find the corresponding value of the k. Okay? 1375000. So that is 25, this is 25. Okay. Yeah, just press calculator and then you get your answer already. Alright, the answer is 13750. And of course, this is cost. So it's better if you write the RM. The 25 I never write unit because that's okay lah. You can write unit because this one is unit of house, right? Okay, and this one is the cost. So that's why I write RM. Okay, okay. Hope you understand. This is how I would do it. Okay, I will continue. Okay, number 10. What chapter? Okay, I see the integration symbol here. So this is from 5 chapter 3. The integration chapter. In Bahasa Melayu is the pengamiran. Okay, diagram 4 shows the curve x equals fy. Okay, I can see it. And intersecting the y-axis at y equals a, y equals b. Okay, so intersecting y-axis at a and b. So this is the y-intercept of the curve, right? Okay, let's read down here. Given that the area bounded means between. Okay, between. So the area between the curve and the y-axis is 10. Okay, let's shade the region where is in between curve and y-axis. So this is your curve. Let me use the highlight. So this is the curve and this is the y-axis. So where do you think is the area in between? It will be here lah. And they say the area here is 10 units square. That's what they said in the question. Okay. And then they say find the value of integrate from A to B to Fy dy. So I think I need to find out what is integrate Fy dy first lah. And you can get it from the diagram. Yeah, you can get it from the diagram. So if you want to find integrate from A to B Fy dy, it will be how much? Okay, as you can see, they already say the area for here is 10, right? That means the 10 actually come from integrate what? Because 10 is the area of this region. And we all know we can use integrate method to find the area. So the 10 actually come from integrate something one. And it will be towards y-axis because the shaded region is in between curve and y-axis. And it will be A to B and it will be Fy dy, right? But it will be negative 10. It will be negative 10 here because if you are using y-axis to integrate, and your shaded region is on the left side, you will get negative. So your integrate AB Fy dy is not 10, it's negative 10. Okay. Wait, I just write the same thing 2 times. Okay, so this one is just equal negative 10. Okay? Yeah, so it's negative 10 like that. Okay. because you're using y-axis to integrate and your shadow region is on the left side. Okay. Then, sir, why they write 10 here? Yeah, because they already modulus. They already modulus to get the area. Yeah, they already give you the area answer. That's why they already modulus for you. That's why they write 10. Okay. But when you write it in this form, integrate AB Fy dy, you should get negative 10. So how do you get this? Okay, the 2 times Fy, the 2 actually you can put it here. Yeah, because you learn in properties of definite integral. Okay, the Cameron tentu punya properties, kalau dia punya, if there's a number times here, you can write in front. So 2 times integrate a b fy dy, and we all know what is integrate a b fy dy is written here negative 10. So 2 times negative 10, negative 20. Okay, yeah, so that's the answer. Okay, B is also a similar question. You will also use the property of definite integral. Okay. Okay, so this says integrate 1 to 3 gx dx is negative 3. This is the information. Sure, for sure, right? This is the information. And then they say find the value of k if integrate 1, 3, 2 gx plus x minus k dx equals 3k. Okay, of course, you have to start from here. And what you have to do is you have to separate this. Yeah, you have to separate this. And you learn already how to separate. So when it's a definite integral and you have separate terms inside the bracket, you can actually separate that into 3 integral. Okay, because there's 3 terms. So you buka 3 kali integrate like that. Okay, so the first one is 1, 3, and then this one is 2 gx. And usually students forget to write the dx. Make sure you remember that. And then this one also you separate 1, 3, and then x dx. This one it become 1, 3. The minus no need, because the minus later you will write here. So this one just write k dx. And then this one is minus, this one is plus. Because here is plus, so plus plus, minus minus. And then equals to 3k. Okay, now how do you find k? Okay, don't forget you have information here. Integrate gx dx from 1 to 3 is negative 3. So this one is also integrate gx dx from 1 to 3, but the 2 kacau, right? Okay, the 2, I told you just now already. The 2 and gx, if it's a times, you can write it in front here. So 2 times 1, 3 gx dx. And now becomes 2 times the integrate 1, 3. Now you can replace with negative 3. So it becomes negative 6. Of course, you have to plus, plus, plus. Okay, this one, you cannot use this information to help you because this information is integrate gx, but this one now is integrate x, so you can't use this information to help you. Then what other information I can use? All right, there's no other information, so this one you have to do it yourself. You have to integrate yourself because no one can help you for this. No information can help you. Same for the integrate k, also you have to do yourself. So let's just integrate ourselves. Integrate x power plus 1. So x power 1 plus 1 is power 2, and then divide with the new power 2 like that. Okay, and then 3, 1. Same with the integrate k. Okay, k would be a number later. It will be a constant, right? It will be number. So when you integrate any number, you just tambah x aja. Just letak x aja. Yeah, that's how you do it. And then tutup 3, 1, and then equals to 3k. Now I will open 2 small bracket because I have to sub the 3 inside and sub the 1 inside and then minus, right? Okay, 3 first. 3 sub inside x. 3 square is 9, and 9 cannot divide 2, so just write 9 over 2. And then do the same thing now with 1. 1 square is 1, 1 over 2, so 1 over 2. And later the 9 over 2 minus 1 over 2, I'll get 8 over 2, which is 4. But it's not over, I still have to minus with this. Okay, the kx, I have to sub the 3 and 1 inside the x, so there will be 2 bracket. The first bracket I have to sub 3 inside, so but you sub inside x, so 3 times k is 3k, and the other one you sub 1 inside x, so it becomes 1k, so just k. And don't forget the whole thing here equals to 3k, right? And what is 3k minus 1k here? It will be 2k. And don't forget the whole thing equals 3k. Okay, alright, now you can find k already. K dengan k boleh buat, number dengan number boleh buat. So I think I will move this over here so that my k is positive. 3k plus 2k is 5k. Negative 6 plus 4, negative 2. So your k is negative 2 over 5. So that is your answer. Okay, that's all. Alright, number 11. Show that n minus 1 factorial over n minus 3 factorial equals n square minus 3n plus 2. This is definitely from 5 chapter. What's the permutation one? Chapter 4, right? Yeah, chapter 4. The pilih atur gabungan chapter. Okay, for the show question, you usually have the answer here already. And you just have to show them step by step the working. Okay, so they said show this one equals to this. So you can choose which side you want to start. You can start from this side. If you start from this side, then the other side will be your answer lah. But of course, you can also start from this side. If you start from this side, then you have to change the right hand side to the left hand side. Okay, whichever you want. But it's always better, it's always recommended to start from the more complicated side. Okay, so which side do you think is more complicated? For me, I think it's the left hand side. Okay, it's the left hand side. So I'll do it up here. So I will try to change from left hand side to right hand side. So the left hand side is n minus 1 factorial over n minus 3 factorial. And then I'll just equal and try to change so that my final answer match with the right hand side lah. So how do you do it? Okay, by using the formula for factorial. So n factorial you learned before. N factorial it's actually what? N times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4 until you reach 1, right? So in other words, n factorial is n times n minus 1 factorial. Okay, so what you can do, n minus 1 factorial is actually n minus 1 times the number before n minus 2 factorial, right? But if you do like that, you cannot cut, you cannot potong with bawah. So if I want to potong with the n minus 3 factorial, I have to use the formula one more time. N minus 2, what's the number before? N minus 2 minus 1, which is n minus 3 factorial. And then only you over n minus 3 factorial. And why I do like that? Because I know can cut. So when you cut, you left with n minus 1 bracket n minus 2. And when you expand this, you will get a general form, and trust me, it will be this. Hopefully, okay? So n times n and square, n times negative 2, negative 2n, negative 1 times n, negative 1 times negative 2, positive 2. So you get n square, negative 2, n minus 1, n negative 3n plus 2. And as you can see, this is same with the right hand side. So this is the right hand side, and we can write shown. Okay? So we already succeed in proving or showing that the left hand side is equal to right hand side. That's all. Okay. So this one is the left hand side. Okay, I'm done with the A1. So now let's do A2 pula. Okay, A2, let's do it here. So they say XCA equals to XCB. Express X in terms of A and B. Okay, so the keyword here is equal, right? So this is C, this is C. Okay, the number atas same. So X equals A plus B lah. Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer. There's like there's nothing much to explain. Yeah. So what you have to know is if I give you 6C2, right, it will equals to 6C4. Okay, you can press calculator. Okay. But make sure the atas number is same lah. If the atas number is same and the sum of these two number is the atas punya number, then it will be same, right? Yeah, so just remember that. So you can see the X and X atas sama, right? That means the number bawah tambah, if the two number bawah here tambah I get number atas, then the two answer will be same, right? So that's why the relationship here is X equals A plus B. Okay, X in terms of A and B. Yeah, that's all. Right? Okay, sudah siap. Okay, B pula, let's go. Apa dia mau? A committee, which is a persatuan, okay, parent teacher association is made up of 6 people, chosen from 7 parents, 4 teachers, and 1 principal. Okay, for this type of question, I always like to draw something, or no need to draw, or maybe write in a way that you understand. Okay, so what I will do is, okay, the option I have is 7 parents, so I'll just write 7 uh PA parents. Okay, 7 parents, and then I'll just circle it like that. 4 teachers, so 4 teachers like that, just circle it like that. And then 1 principal, so I'll just have 1 PR principal like that, and then circle, right? But I will do arrow and write 6 because I only want to choose 6 people chosen. So later I'll use combination C lah, because you choose ma. When you choose, the order is not important. That means we will use C. Okay. Okay. 6 people chosen, but if you can count the total here, 7 plus 4 plus 1 is 12. So if no condition means 12C6. No condition means 12C6. It means from the total of 12 person, you choose 6 person to form a committee. Okay, so if it's no condition, it's 12C6 lah. Okay, but number one, they said must include 1 principal, a principal. That means you cannot do 12C6 because there's a condition here. It must include a principal. That means there's only 1 principal, so you have to do 1C1. Okay, but if you want to cukupkan 6 people, you still have to choose another 5, right? But the remaining 5 you can choose from parents or teachers. Yeah, because it includes 1 principal already, so you cannot have another principal already. So the rest of the members has to be either parents or teachers. So you can add this up, 7 plus 4, add them up, 11. So from the 11, choose another 5, then you can jadikan the community lah. because it's already 6% already here. You choose 1 here, you choose 5 here, total 6 already. So you press calculator, you get 462. That's the answer. Okay, so 462 ways lah, ways. Okay, so the number of ways to form is 462 ways. Kalau dia nak include satu principle. Second question, exactly 3 parents. Okay, they never say less than 3, they never say more than 3, they say exactly 3 parents. That means from the 7 parents, I have to choose 3, right? But it's not enough 6, it's not enough 6 member yet. You only choose 3. So there's 3 more you have to choose to fill in the slot because nak cukupkan 6 orang. So you sudah choose 3 parent, from the 7 parent you already choose 3. Then the remaining 3 you have to choose from what? Choose from teacher or principal lah. Yeah, the remaining 3 cannot be parent already because they say exactly 3. Means exactly tepat-tepat 3 orang, 3 parents. Cannot more than, cannot less than. It has to be exactly 3. So the rest 3 cannot choose from here already. It has to be 4 teacher and 1 principal. Choose another 3. So I will add them up. 4 teacher plus 1 principal, which is 5. And from the 5, I choose another 3 to form the community. Okay, so now I will tekan, I get 350 ways. Okay. Okay, let me double check with my calculator. 7C3 times 5C3. Okay, yeah. My calculator give me 350. Okay, for the last question, they says not more than 3 teacher. Okay, not more than means it has to be less than or equal. Lebih kecil atau sama dengan 3 teacher. So imagine if I want not more than 3 teacher, it means you have to form it means you have to get 3 teacher. But if you want to cukupkan 6 orang, you have to tambah lagi 3 kan? Yeah, because you have 3 teacher already. So another 3 will be what? Parents or principal lah. So this one I'll write PA or PR. That's the first option. 3 teacher and then the another 3 is parents or principal. Or you can also be 2 teacher. Because they say not more than 3 teacher, right? Tak boleh melebihi 3 cikgu, 3 guru. So it can be 3 teacher, 2 teacher, or 1 teacher, or 0 teacher. But you have to consider also, if it's 2 teacher, how many left? 4, right? Because you have 6 total. So if 2 is already teacher, the remaining 4 must be what? Parents or principal lah. We have to consider that. Or it can also be 1 teacher. Yeah, 1 is also not more than 3, right? But if it's 1 teacher, berapa lagi nak cukupkan 6? 5 lah, 5 lah. 1 teacher, because you want a 6, right? So 1 plus 5 is 6. So the other 5 has to be parents or principal like that. Okay. Okay, what about 0 teacher? Is it possible? Possible also. Yeah, possible also. If it's 0 teacher, then it will be all 6. Nak cukupkan 6, will be all 6 will be what? Parents or principal. It means tak ada satu cikgu lah. 0 teacher. Okay. And I think that's all. These are all the options. Now it's time to write the working and press calculator. So I will open bracket, 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 bracket. Okay, the first bracket, 3 teacher, but you have 4 teacher here. So it'll be 4C3. And these 3 have to choose from parents or principal. So I will add them up. The parents and principal, I will add them up. 7 plus 1 is 8. And from the 8, I'll just choose 3. And here I have to times lah. Second option, 2 teacher. Okay, 4. You have 4 in total, so 4 teacher, choose 2 teacher times with 4 parents or principal. It could be parents, it could be principal, either one. So I will add them up. Parents and principal, add them. 7 plus 1, 8, and then C4 because I'm choosing 4. Next one, 1 teacher, choose from 4 teachers, so 4C1 times with parents or principal have to choose 5. So parents 7, principal 1, I will add them up. 7 plus 1 is 8, but I choose 5 like that. Last one, 4 teacher, choose 0, so 4C0 times with 6 parents or principal. Parents or principal, add them up, 8C6. And of course, these are one have to plus. Yeah, because you go into the second option, it means it's a new apa? It's you have to reset them basically. So this one is plus lah. Because this one is or. Okay. It's like this one or this one or this one or this one. And if it's or, you have to plus. Okay. Okay, now I will press all this, then I will get my answer. Okay, 4C3 times 8C3. Let me press 224. And then add with 4C2 times 8C4. 420, 420. And then next one, 4C1 times 8C5. Let me press. Wait for me. 224. And then the last one. Okay, 4C0 is just 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. Okay. Okay, now add them up. Plus 1 plus 420 plus 224. Okay, 869 ways, right? So that's the answer. All right, that's all. Okay, number 12. I can see a bell-shaped curve, so definitely it's from chapter 5. This chapter is called probability distribution in BM. Taburan keberangkatan. Let's go. Diagram 5 shows the graph of the heights of children in centimeters at a childcare center. So, okay, this is height of children. The children's height are normally distributed. So when you see the word normally, normal, it means this is a normal distribution question. And when you see the word normal means you need to use the Z-score table to do this question, right? Yeah, because it's normal distribution. Okay, so later I have to use the Z-score table with a mean and standard deviation. Right? Oh, they never give the mean standard deviation. Okay, interesting. Okay, they give us some percentage here, but we know percentage means probability. Okay, I hope you know that. So 49.6% means if you change to decimal, it'd be 0.496 because 49.6 divide 100. Okay. Same thing here, 32.6 divide 100, 0.326. So this is the decimal. And let me tell you why I changed to decimal, because this is the probability answer later. Okay? Yeah. This is the probability for x in between 88 and 136. And then this is the probability for x bigger than 136. Yeah, because it's on the right side. Okay, what else they want to find? Find the value of mean and standard deviation. Okay, this one you have to do simultaneous later. Yeah, confirm one. Because you don't have mean, you don't have standard deviation. So later when you convert to Z, you will not, you will have two unknowns. One for mean, one standard deviation. So yeah, you have two unknowns. That is why they give you two different probability, because you need two different equation to do simultaneous. Because there's two unknowns. Yeah. It means like if they just give you one information, it won't be enough. You need help from another one. So I'm gonna write this one first. So how do we write that? P, which stands for probability for x bigger than 136. Okay. The probability for x bigger than 136 will be this 0.326. Yeah, that's the probability. Okay. And then the next step is changing to z. Yeah, because we want, whenever we do normal distribution, it's always like that one. The first step forever, same thing, always change to z. The formula to change to z is take the 136 minus mean divide standard deviation. But since we don't have, so I've just used the mean symbol and the standard deviation symbol. We don't have both. Equals to 0.326. And the next step, the way I do it is I always, until when I reach here, I always tell my student, kalau dalam ni tak boleh buat, now tak boleh buat, right? Because tak boleh tekan kalkulator pun tak jadi, because you don't have the value. So bila tak boleh buat, I always tell them let C equals to the whole thing, 136 minus mean over standard deviation, and then rewrite the whole thing, PZ bigger than C equals to 0.326. And now you have to lukis, you have to draw. Okay, you cannot straight away go to your Z-score table. Cannot. That's the wrong way. The correct way is to draw, and you have to draw two times, and make sure your C, make sure you know your C is positive or negative first. That's the step. Okay. Because you can only butcher your Z-score table when it's Z bigger positive. Right? Okay, now it's Z bigger, but your C actually we don't know. It could be negative, it could be positive. And since we don't know, we can't go to the jadwal now. We cannot go to the table now. What we have to do now is you have to draw. Okay, you have to draw two times, because we don't know the C negative or positive. So the first one I will put it at negative. The second one we will assume is positive. But only one of these is correct. Yeah, because the C is just one value. So it will be either positive or negative. So I draw two, but later I will reject the wrong one. Okay. Only one of these is correct. Okay, after I jadikan satu C negative, satu C positive, I will shade the region. So the symbol here is greater, bigger, greater. So greater means you lower it from the line ke kanan sampai infinity lah. This one also from this line onwards to the right. Okay. Okay, now after we are done, now it's time to find out whether our C is positive or negative. And the way to do that is look at this value. If this value is bigger than 0.5, you choose the big region, the kawasan besar. If this one is less than 0.5, you choose the small region, the kawasan kecil. So now it's 0.32 something, 326. So it's less than 0.5. So it's less than half. So tak logic kalau you punya region is besar. It should be like that. Because this one, the region is already more than half. It's already more than 0.5. It can't be 0.326. That's why we will reject this one and go with this. So now we know for sure our C is positive. And since it's already positive, and it's already bigger, and it's already Z, so it's already Z bigger positive, so now we can baca jadual already, right? So later I'll go to the Z score table, but before I go, I just want to mention, when you baca the jadual, you don't go and read like that, 0.326 baca. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. You can only baca like this when they give you the Z value and you're trying to find probability, then only you baca like that. This one is different, bro. This one, the 0.326 is actually the probability answer. So you have to actually go inside and find 0.326 ataupun lebih sikit. It means you have to baca dari dalam. You have to go inside and find 0.326 or lebih sikit. Okay. Alright. I feel like this set don't have the, this PDF don't have the Z score table. So I need to open another trial paper. So you wait for me, Addmaths. Okay, let me open the trial 2024. Let me go like Selangor. Selangor set 2. I feel like that one have. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's the table right here. Okay, but there's some handwriting here. So let me just quickly remove all the handwriting. Okay, let's read now. Okay, I forgot already what's the value just now. So I'm looking for 0.326 or lebih sikit. But you have to baca dari dalam. It means you have to go inside and find it. Okay. Bukan baca dari luar, baca dari dalam. So let's go dalam cari 0.326 or lebih sikit. So 326 or lebih sikit. 33, okay, 3332. Oh, here 3264. The next one is like 3228. The one is smaller already. I want this one. Okay, so I want 0.326. But this one is 0.3264. So I have to minus 4. So I have to go tolak and find 4. And the answer will be outside. Yeah, it will be at the outside. So this is the answer. This is the answer. This is the answer. So combine this. That's your answer. 0.451. So write it down. 0.451. Positive or negative? Positive lah. Just now you already do experiment mah. Remember, you draw 2 times the bell shape and you find out the C is positive. So it's positive lah, your C. But if it's negative, then you have to put negative here lah. And also if it's negative you cannot but terus baca jadual already. You have to take 1 minus. Yeah, you have to do 1 minus if it's this case. Yeah, because the shaded region, when the shaded region is already crossed over to the other half like that, you have to do 1 minus. Okay. Okay, I'm done with the first part. No, it's not done yet. The C, don't forget to change back to 136 minus mean over standard deviation equals 0.451. Okay, but I cannot do anything already from here because I don't have the mean, standard deviation, and this equation has 2 unknowns. So later I have to find another equation here and then do simultaneous, right? But later when you do for the other one, you will end up with something like this also. So what I can do is I can find standard deviation. Yeah, I can jadikan the standard deviation single. And how to do that? Just switch place lah. This one and this one just tukar tempat. So 136 minus mean over 0.451. And later I will do the same also for the other equation, which is finding the making the standard deviation single. And then I can just do standard deviation equals standard deviation and then just ganti the 2 and then maybe darab silang whatever and then yeah, and then dapat lah jawapan. Okay, so let me explain also why you can tukar tempat. It's because this one bahagi mah. Bahagi jadi darab, darab jadi bahagi. So yeah, you just switch like that. Okay, I'll just call this equation 1 for now. Okay, now I need another help from another equation. So obviously we have to use this one, right? Because that's the other probability, right? So this probability is not for, okay, it's for px bigger than 88, but at the same time it's px lesser than 136. So it means you have to do in between lah. You have to write px in between 88 and 136 equal to 0.496 and then change to z value and then do like just now lah. But I don't like it. I don't like it because it's in between. Okay. And there's another way to do it. You can just add these two together and then just do for px bigger than 88. Because px bigger than 88 is from here to here, right? So why not just add them up? Okay. Then I don't have to do in between already, right? Okay. Because when I do in between, you have to convert to z value 2 times. That's why I don't like it. Okay, so I'll just do like that. Okay, let's tekan 0.496 plus 0.326. So my calculator give me 0.822. In other words, the shaded region here is 0.822. That's the area, or you can say the probability lah. Okay, and at the same time, it's also px bigger than 88. Yeah, and it's good to do it like that because you don't have to do the in between, right? Okay, now change to z. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you want to do in between, can also, huh? Yeah, you get the same answer also. Okay. Yeah, it's just that I doing it like that. I prefer doing it like that. Okay, so pz bigger than 88 minus mean divided standard deviation. This mean and standard deviation we don't have, so I'll just use this symbol, the mean and standard deviation symbol. And later the mean and standard deviation value is same with this mean and standard deviation value. Okay. Okay, equals to 0.822, and you are just repeating what you do just now. Okay, just now you let C already. Now use another alphabet, maybe K lah. So let K equals what? 88 minus mean over standard deviation. You know why I cannot let C? It's because this C and this, because if here also I write C, it means you are saying that this and this value will be same. But it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. This one is 88 minus mean over standard deviation. This one is 136 minus mean divided standard deviation. Even though the mean and standard deviation value is same, but when you take 88 minus this one tolak bahagi this one, it will not be the same as 136 minus this one or this one. That's why you have to use another alphabet. Okay, rewrite the whole thing. Pz bigger than k equals to 0.822. Okay, you remember what's the next step? Don't go to the z-score table first, right? That's what I said just now, right? Do not go to the z-score table. The correct step is to make sure it's z bigger positive first. Because if it's not z bigger positive, you cannot read the jadwal. So is it z bigger positive? It's z bigger, but the k you don't know, positive or negative. It could be negative, it could be positive, we don't know. So we have to draw. And draw how many times? Two times. But only one of these is correct. Okay? So why I have to draw two times is because one you assume the k is negative, and another one you assume the k is positive. And the symbol is bigger, so you have to lorate kanan. Okay, to lorate to the right side. This one is also lorate right side. Okay, only one of these is correct. It means you have to reject the wrong one. So which one is the wrong one? I teach you already, just now. Look at the value here. So the value here now is, if it's bigger than 0.5, you choose the big one, right? So this one is already bigger than 0.5. So you have to choose the besar punya kawasan, the big region, which is this one. So this one rejected. So your k is not positive, it's negative. And I always tell my student, when you know the k is negative, straight away go to the last baris, tulis siap-siap k equals negative. Kalau tak, you will forget later. Okay, yeah, because if you forget to put a negative later, then the whole thing wrong already. Okay, yeah, so have to remember that. Okay, now what I have to do? Okay, you see I empty out the space here, right? Yeah, because I already know I have to take 1 minus, because my shaded region already cross over to the other half of the bell shape, and that's how I always teach my student. Whenever the shaded region already cross over to the other half, just do 1 minus. Okay, okay, kenapa ambil 1 minus? Because 1 is the total area for the whole bell shape. So you are taking 1, which is total area for the whole thing, minus with the area that you don't want, right? So the area that you don't want, that the unshaded part, the part that is not shaded, is this part. So I write P1 minus PZ. So the red color region is on the left side, so smaller, negative K. But you cannot write the negative, you have to write K. Okay, but you know it's negative. Okay, you cannot write it, but you know it's negative. As a smaller negative equals to 0.822, right? And then smaller negative, smaller negative, smaller negative, smaller negative, smaller negative can change to bigger positive. Okay, equals to 0.822. And since I'm trying to find K, I will make this whole thing positive. So PZ bigger than K positive. Make it positive by bringing it here, and then the 0.822 bring here become minus. So 1 minus 0.822, I get 0.178. And now you can budget jadwal already. Yeah, now you can read the jadwal already. You know why? Because now it's PZ bigger positive already, right? But your answer will come out negative later lah. Okay. So I cakap sikit why this one you cannot terus baca jadual is because your K is negative. If it's Z bigger negative, you can't baca jadual. Okay, only when it's Z bigger positive baru boleh baca. Okay, but now you can baca already because I already do 1 minus, and also the smaller negative change to bigger positive already. Okay, so now I'll go jadual, but remember you are going from the dalam, you baca dari dalam also. Okay, and you're trying to find 0.178 or lebih sikit. Okay, so let me open the Z score table, 0.178. or lebih sikit. So let's go. 0.178 is 176. Okay, it's here. But this one is 1788. I want 178. Okay. I want 178. So I have to minus 8. So I go to the tolak. I find 8. Okay, here is it. Here it is. So now the answer will be on the outside. So this is the exact value. Okay. So the answer is 0.923. But have to put negative. Yeah. So negative 0.923. Okay. Most of the student, most of the time they will forget one, the negative, right? So be very careful lah. If you once you know it's negative, always put it there so that you don't forget the negative. Okay, the k is actually what? Remember just now I let k equals to 88 minus mean over standard deviation. So k now you have to change back k minus mean over standard deviation equals negative 0.923. But I'm planning to do simultaneous later with this. So I will make the standard deviation single by tukar tempat. So it becomes 88 minus mean over this one tukar tempat becomes negative 0.923 like that. And now this is your equation 2. Okay. Okay, I need space. I need space. Is it possible to make space? Okay, so now what I will do is I will use this and do simultaneous. And now you understand, right, why I make the standard deviation single on the right side. Because I want to do this standard deviation equals standard deviation. And then this standard deviation, I write this one lah. 136 minus mean over 0.451. And then the other standard deviation, I write the other one lah. 88 minus mean over negative 0.923. And kenapa saya boleh buat macam tu? It's because this standard deviation and this standard deviation is the same. It's the same value. Yeah, that's why this one can equal this one lah. Okay, now you can cross multiply. Darab silang. Okay, because it's a fraction, right? You want to get rid of the fraction, so just cross multiply like that. So negative 0.923 times with 136. So you get negative. Okay, let me press. Okay, negative 125.528. And then continue. Negative 0.923 times negative mean, that's going to be positive 0.923 mean equals 88 times 0.5451. So this one is 39.688. Okay. And then 0.451 times negative mean. So negative 0.451 mean. And you're trying to find mean now. So mean dengan mean boleh buat. Number dengan number boleh buat. But I will pindah this over here become plus. So 0.923 plus 0.451. 1.374 mean. And then the number here have to move this over. So 39.688 plus with 125.528. And you will get 165.216. Okay, wait. Yeah. Correct. Now divide with what? 1.374. So my calculator give me 120.24. Yeah. Nice. Okay, now I get my mean already. The only thing left is the standard deviation. Let's sub inside this one lah. If you want to sub to other one also can. But I want to sub this one. So standard deviation equals what? 88 minus mean bracket over negative 0.923. And your mean is 120.24. Okay, let the calculator do its job. Let's go. 88 minus 120.24. Or you want to use the answer button also can. And then answer divide bracket negative 0.923. Okay, it should come out positive, because standard deviation cannot have negative one. So 34.9295. So 34.93. Okay. Yeah. Just write in four significant figures. So 34.93 is the standard deviation. Okay, that's all. The soalan asked for mean standard deviation. So this is how I would do it. Okay, I'll continue. Okay, now it's already bahagian B. So bahagian B, they say jawab mana-mana dua soalan daripada bahagian ni. Okay, but I will jawab all three questions. Okay, yeah, I'll jawab all three in this video. Alright, let's go. Number 13. Okay, I think I know which chapter already. Form 4, chapter 6, coordinate geometry. Okay, diagram 6 below shows point A, B, and P. Okay, I can see it. Point A, but they never give us the coordinate. They just write small a, small b. And then point P also, they never give the coordinate. But point B also, they never give. They just write CD here. Okay. Okay, so let's read down here and see what else. Given that point P divides line segment AB in the ratio MN. Okay, finally something I can label. So I think they are collinear. It means these 3 points, they are collinear. What is collinear? Collinear means segaris. Segaris. They are segaris. How I know they are segaris? Because they say P divides line segment AB. It means P divides, membahagi, AB in the ratio mn. It means here is m, here is m. Read one more time. P divides AB in ratio mn. So P divides AB in ratio mn. Makes sense. Okay, next one. Show that x equals an plus cm over m plus n. Okay, what is this? This is actually the divisor of line segment formula. Yeah, this is the divisor of line segment formula. And for my own student, I always call it the point C formula. When I teach my student, I call it the point C formula. Okay, I just name it as the point C formula, but the real name of it is not point C formula. It's the divisor of line segment formula. So let me write down the formula for you. It's like this. Uh, cross multiply, cross multiply. So it becomes your point P is cross multiply. So over m plus n here. This one also over m plus n here. And then this one you have to do a times n. So a n, b times n here, b n, c times m here, mc or cm, can same thing. And then d times m is dm. And then plus here, plus here. Yeah, there you have it. That's the point C formula. Yeah, this is one of the formula that you learn, right? But you learn the one you learn in textbook, they never use the A, B, C, D one. They use x1, y1, x2, y2. So, but it's the same lah. Just the A change to x1, B change to y1, and so on. Okay? Yeah. So yeah. But anyways, it's the same formula we are talking about here, the divisor of line segment formula. Okay, but they only want you to show the x only, right? It means this part only lah. Okay. So how do you show it? Okay, of course, uh, I have to erase this. Okay, so I will show you lah I will explain lah how to prove this formula or how to derive this formula, how to show the formula. Okay, the way to do it is you have to draw triangle. You have to draw some triangle. So what I will do now, I will take out my ruler and I will draw some triangle. So I will form two triangles here, and it will be a right angle triangle. Both also right angle triangle. Okay, so it will look like this, right? Okay, can you tell me, these two right angle triangle, will they be the same size? Will they be the same size? The answer is no. The answer is no. Unless P is the midpoint. If P is the midpoint, then yeah, these two right angle triangle will be same size. But usually, this formula, the divisor line segment formula, we use it when the ratio is not same. When it's 2:1 or 3:1 or 5:2, it means the ratio not same. So definitely these two triangle will not be the same size. Okay, will not be the same size. So when it's not the same size, then we have to use this formula, right? So what we have to do now, I will try to find out the distance here first. So the distance from here to here will be what? Okay, since I'm trying to find point P, and point P, I'll call it xy for now. So I will try to find this length. So it will be to find this, I have to take the x coordinate of this point minus the x coordinate of this point. So it will be c minus with x. Agree? And then what about here? It will be the x coordinate for this minus the x coordinate for this. So it will be x minus a, like that. And you can do the same for the y coordinate. B minus, but it has to be y minus y lah. So the y coordinate is b, the higher one is b, the lower one is y. So b minus y. And then this one also same, but take the y coordinate, so y minus d, like that. Okay. Okay, now I want you all to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you now. So these two right angle triangle, they are different size. They are different size. Okay, they are different size. One is bigger, one is smaller. But this angle and this angle will be 90 degree. You agree? Yes, they are confirmed one. They will be 90 degree, right? And not only that, this angle and this angle is also same size. Why? Is because these two lines are parallel and this is a transversal. So when you have two parallel line and you cut it like that, this angle mesti sama ma. You learned before in form 1, form 2, form 3 one. So the transversal. So this line and this angle mesti same. So what happens to the atas angle? Also same with this. That means these two triangle, even though they are not the same size triangle, but they are similar. What do I mean by similar? I mean they are enlargement image of each other. This two right angle triangle is actually like a enlargement. Yeah, it's like enlargement image of each other. Okay. In other words, they are similar. Similar means even though they are not the same size, but the ratio of the corresponding side are equal. The ratio is equal. Okay, the ratio is equal. Okay, even though the corresponding side is not the same, but the ratio of corresponding side is same. Okay, yeah, because they are similar. You learn this in mathematics. Yeah, mathematics, the enlargement chapter you learn, right? Yeah, when the object and image are similar, the ratio of corresponding side are equal. What do I mean by ratio of corresponding side equal? It means when you take m over n, right? It will be same with the distance here divided with the distance here, which is x minus a over c minus x. So what I'm doing is take the distance here, divide with the distance here, x minus a over c minus x, but the ratio will be same with the hypotenuse linear ratio m over n like that, right? But of course, you can also take the vertical one, which is b minus y over y minus d equals to m over n. Can also. But if you do that, you will get the y coordinate one lah. Okay. But I will not do that because this question only asks us to show for the x, which is this side only. So that's why I'm only trying to find the x here. Okay. So to find this x, I will use the horizontal distance. So c minus x over x minus I mean x minus a over c minus x. Yeah, this one equals to the m over n. Because the ratio of the corresponding side will be equal. That's why we can do this, right? Okay, now I can cross multiply, but don't forget you're trying to find x. Yeah, and it's this small x. So later I have to make this small x single. But let's cross multiply first. N times x is nx minus, what is this? I don't even know my own handwriting. I think it's a, right? Yeah, it's not 9, it's a. Let me write nicely. Okay, a times n is an equals to m times c is mc minus m times x is mx. Okay, but I think it's better to write cm, right? Yeah. Because if you look at the formula they want to prove here, cm. See, very smart one. I'm looking at the answer also. Okay. Okay lah, it's not that smart lah. Okay, so I just because this is a show question so you want your final answer to look like that. So I try to write nice a bit lah. I try to write according to what they write here. Okay, now I have to find x. So this one have x, this one have x. We will put them together so that we can factorize out x later. So nx, the minus mx I can throw here become mx, right? But it become plus already. Okay, plus already. And then equals to cm. And then the minus an throw there become plus an. And since I'm trying to find the small x, I will factorize out the x like that, and you will left with n plus m equals to cm plus an. But let's arrange a bit. N plus n and n plus n is the same, right? So I write it like this because I want it to divide n plus n later. And this one is cm plus an, but they write an plus cm. So same thing lah. Okay, let's just arrange a bit because I want my final answer to look exactly like this. Because for show question they really want your final answer to look exactly the same one. So that's why I try to make everything the same. So x equals an plus cm, and now you move, and now it's like perfect match with this already. Okay, so that's your answer. So for show question, you will after you are done, you always write this word shown. Okay, so that's how you derive the divisor of line segment formula. Okay, or you can say prove the formula lah for prove this formula. Okay, I mentioned just now, right? You can actually prove for the y coordinate also, but you have to take y the vertical distance divide with the vertical distance, right? Okay, and when you take this side divide with this side, it will be m over n. Okay, and trust me, if you do that, you will get this. Okay, but I won't do it. Okay, because this question never asked for that. I'll just focus on what the question asks. All right. Okay, hope you understand. Now I will do b. Okay, not enough space pula. Okay, I'll just whatever lah. Later I'll just I think I'll erase this part lah. I'll erase this part. Okay. Form 4 chapter 6 I'll write up here, and then b I'll do it here. Let's go. Find the coordinates of P, okay, which is the XY here. If the values of A, B, C, D is -3, 7, 3, -2, such that AP, PB is 2:1. So I think I have to erase all this junk because it's like hindering my hindering my ability to label because everything looks so messy, right? So if you want the thing, you can just rewind and pause it and yeah, silent it if you want. Okay, now for now I'll erase it. And the triangle also I don't want it. Okay, I don't want it. I don't need it anymore. This one I draw the triangle just now is because I'm trying to explain to you how to prove the formula, right? But now I don't need it. Okay, let's go. Small a, small b is negative 3, 7. So this is negative 3, 7. That's good. And then for my b also, they give us the CD, negative 3, negative 2. All right. And then they want to find point P, but they need to give us the ratio. And they gave us here, AP ratio is 2. Okay. The one, tengok betul-betul, the alphabet is PB. Okay, this is PB. All right, nice. Now let's find coordinate of point P. And we already know how to do it. It's the formula, the divisor of line segment formula lah. Okay, so the way I do it is I always do the arrow one. Always take the point yang dekat hujung. Okay, the point dekat hujung. And then you multiply with the jauh punya ratio. Jauh ini bukan jauh, ini dekat. Jauh punya ratio. So it's like that. Like that. It's like cross multiply lah. You jadikan dia darab silang macam tu. So now, the way to write the formula is like this. So you take point A times 1. So it will be negative 3 times 1, 7 times 1. So negative 3 times 1 right here, 7 times 1 right here. Because 7 is the y coordinate ma. So of course you write at the y coordinate. And then point B times 2 like this. So 3 times 2, negative 2 times 2. 3 times 2 right here because that's the x coordinate. Negative 2 is the y coordinate. So when you times 2, you write at the y coordinate. Okay, nothing in between means plus. This one, there's already minus. So you don't have to do anything really. And then divide with m plus n, which is 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1. Okay, now you can find your point P. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Divide 3. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 2 is 4 over 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 1. 7 minus 4 is 1. So point P is 1, 1. Okay, this is only worth 2 marks. I'm done. Now let's do C. Find equation of straight line perpendicular to AB and passing through point P. Okay, whenever you see the word find equation of straight line in Addmaths, you will always use this formula. Y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Okay, all right. If you want to use the other formula also can, the y equal mx plus c. But that one, we usually use it for maths. But in Addmaths, you want to use it, can also. Mx plus c. Okay, but I will use the Addmaths punya method. So y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. All right, in order to use this formula, we need two information. What we need? The m gradient and the x1, y1. Okay, m is the gradient and they never give me. For the x1, y1, we have to use a specific point yang ada passes through. Actually, it can be any point. Just make sure it's the point passes through the line. Okay. Okay. Actually, they mention here find equation of straight line perpendicular and passing through point P. So later, the x1, y1 must use point P because they say passing through point P. So what's point P? 1, 1. So later, the x1, y1 already know what to put lah. It will be 1, 1 here, 1 here. But gradient the other. So how do we find gradient? Okay, they say the equation of straight line will be perpendicular to AB ma. So perpendicular means what? When you see the word perpendicular, you immediately think about m1 times m2 equals negative 1. So what we can do is find the gradient of AB first, and then use this formula to find the other gradient. Then use this formula lah. Okay. Okay, but we need to find AB gradient first. Okay, the formula for gradient is y minus y over x minus x. So for AB gradient will be negative 2 minus 7 over 3 minus negative 3. Okay, negative 2 minus 7 over 3 minus negative 3. Y minus y over x minus x. So you become negative 9 over 3 plus 3 is 6, which is negative 3 over 2. But this is the m1. How do you find the m2? So use this formula. m1, which is negative 3 over 2, times with m2 equals negative 1. So your m2 will be negative 1 divide negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1 times negative 2 over 3, which is positive 2 over 3. Okay, or you can use your calculator to help you. Okay, so the gradient of my line will be 2 over 3. Because my line is perpendicular to AB, right? So my gradient is 2 over 3. So now I have my gradient, and now I have the point yang passes through. Now is the right time to use this formula. So y minus y equals gradient x minus x. the gradient is 2 over 3. And for the x1, y1, it has to be a point yang ada passes through, which is point P11. So y minus 1, x minus 1. Now the 2 over 3 can expand, become 2 over 3, x minus 2 over 3. Here is still y minus 1. Now we can, okay, how to make space? So now we can just write it in the y equal mx plus c format lah. So it becomes y equals 2 over 3x. Okay, the minus 1 can move there, become plus 1. So I can press calculator, negative 2 over 3 plus 1, positive 1 over 3. So that's the answer. Y equals 2 over 3x plus 1 over 3. Yep, that's the answer. Okay. All right. Hope you understand. I'm done with question 13. Let's move on. Okay, 14 is very obvious. It's from 4 chapter 1. And I can already tell it's an inverse, right? That's an inverse, right? Okay, let's go. Diagram 7 shows the graph of fx equals square root 2x minus 4 for x between 2 and 4. That's the domain range. The range for x, the domain. Huh? So the fx square root 2x minus 4, the domain is x 2 to 4. That means this one is 2, this one is 4. That's what it means. It means this graph, they only draw from x coordinate 2 to the last point x coordinate 4. That's what it means. Okay, the graph of f inverse x is the image of fx under reflection of line fx equals to x. And this line, this line is the fx equals to x line. Okay, fx equals to x, y equals to x is the same thing. So this line will be exactly 45 degree and it will passes through 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, right? And let me tell you what happens when you reflect using this line y equals x. What's gonna happen is your x coordinate and your y coordinate will flip. So for example, this one is 2, 0, right? When you reflect using this line, the corresponding point here will be 0, 2. Yeah. So the 2, 0 becomes 0, 2. So imagine if this point is like, let's say 3, 5. Then when you reflect, the corresponding will be 5, 3. But that's only when you reflect using the y equal x line. If the line is not y equals x, then then it's not like that, right? Oh, and one more thing, when you join the corresponding point together, it will be 90 degree with the line. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me just erase all this. Oh, there's one more point here, right? 4, x coordinate 4, and I don't know the y coordinate, but I can find it easily. I can just sub inside, right? Just sub inside and then find the f4. Okay, but let's see whether the question got asked or not. Yeah. The question later got asked for the domain and range of f inverse. So I think I should find out what is this point, right? And the way to find out this point is actually find out this point first. Yeah. So let's try to find f4 now. If I find it now, then later no need to find it. Okay, so 2 times 4, 8, 8 minus 4, 4 square root 4 is 2. Actually got two answers, 2 and negative 2. But what do you think? This y coordinate confirm is positive. So I write here 2. Okay. Wait, but it doesn't make sense, the diagram. Because if this is 4, 2, it means this is 2, right? But the 2 is down here. So it's like the diagram is like a bit like cacat. Okay. Okay lah, it's okay lah. Okay, but anyways, this is 4, 2. So when you reflect, this is what? 2, 4. Because I told you when you reflect apa using this line y equals x, the x coordinate and y coordinate they will flip. In other words, your object and image actually flip lah. It means your object now become the image, and then your image now become the object. In other words, your x become y, your y become x. Yeah lah, because that's what happens when you do f inverse. Yeah, because when you reflect using this line, the new function you get, that's the inverse. And what's inverse? Inverse means you're trying to reverse your object and image. You reverse your x coordinate and y coordinate. Technically that's what's happening. So that's why it's like that. All right. With that being said, we can do our question 1. Find the f inverse x. Okay, I don't think we'll be using any of this point for the part 1. But for part 2 later, we will use some of these points. Okay, let's try to find f inverse. Very easy. So let's write down fx first. Fx they gave already square root 2x minus 4. Okay, how do you find inverse? Okay, the way I do it is I always tell my student, let both sides equals y and then find x both sides. So let y equals let both sides equals y. So let fx equals y, and then the other side also equals y. Square root 2x minus 4 equals y. And then what I do here is find x, both also find x. Okay, when I find x here, the f I move there, it will become f inverse. And then when I find x from here, I will pindah square root dulu, so it becomes square, so it becomes y square. And then how do you find x? Minus 4 pergi dulu jadi y square plus 4, and then times 2 pergi jadi over 2. And don't forget x is your f inverse y according here. So now your f inverse y, okay, I'll continue here. Your f inverse y is equals to y square plus 4 over 2. This one. So y square plus 4 over 2. But I want f inverse x. So just change the y to x. So x square plus 4 over 2. Okay, this one they don't have the undefined case because there's no x at the denominator. If there's no x down there, that means you don't have undefined case. So that's the answer. That's all. Okay, sudah siap. Number 2. Find the domain and the julat bagi fungsi f inverse x. It means for the f inverse x, I have to write down the domain. Domain means you write down the range of x. And then the julat means you write down the range for f inverse x. Okay. In other words, you write down the range for y lah. For the y. This one is the range for x. This one range for y. Okay, but for the f inverse, so let me highlight which one is the f inverse. This one, guys. So the range of x will be here to here. Agree? So this is 0. This is 2. Because you tarik bawah 2, right? But I know the diagram cacat already because this is 2. But here is also 2, right? So it's like cacat already lah. But it's okay. Just the diagram punya masalah. So the correct one is 0 to 2 like that. But what about the range for f inverse x? Ataupun the range for y? It will be here and here lah. Betul lah? Because that's the range of y, right? The lowest point to the highest point. But you will take the lowest point y coordinate, which is 2, right? And then the highest point y coordinate, that's going to be 4 because the y coordinate of this point is 4. So the range will be 2 to 4. And that's the answer. Okay, that's the answer. Okay, with that being said, let's do number 3. Okay, let's see number 3 what they want. They want f inverse f3. Okay, this one the answer is 3. Yeah, there's no explanation for this. When you see f inverse and f, you can just cut, right? Only if you see one f and one f inverse, then you can cut. Yeah, because what you are basically doing is you are finding the f3, which is you are finding the image of 3. But after you find the image of 3, you find back the object of that answer. So you get back the 3 lah. Okay, but you don't have to confuse yourself. Just remember, whenever you see f inverse f, just cut it, and then the answer left, that's the answer. All right. If it's f inverse 7, can cut also. It becomes 7 also. Okay. But if like this, cannot cut. This one cannot cut. This one you have to do it separately. You have to do it yourself. Okay. This one cannot cut. Okay. As long as it's one normal function, one inverse, then can cut. Okay. Okay. Hope you get it. That's the answer. All right. I will go to the next question. Oh, it's not over yet. There's still a B here. I thought it's the whole question over already. Okay, it's still the question 14. Okay, given function hx is x over 3 plus c. All right. Let's write down h bracket x equals x over 3 plus c. The c never give. Where c is constant. Okay. Hx maps 4 onto itself. Find the value of c. Okay, what's the meaning of hx maps 4 onto itself? It means when the object is 4, the image will be 4. That's what it means. Okay. In other words, h4 equals 4 lah. Right? So I'll just write h4 equals 4. And then the 4, that's the image answer. I'll leave it. And the h4, I will just sub inside here. So hx is x over 3 plus c. So what's h4? 4 over 3 plus c. So your c will be 4 minus 4 over 3. Use calculator and you'll get 8 over 3. Oh my god, so easy. SPM. Done. Okay, let's do 15. Alright, what chapter is this? Quadratic. So from 4 chapter 2. Okay, I'll write my working up here for A. Let's go. Given quadratic equation px squared minus 7qx plus 16p equals 0. Okay, is this in general form? Yes, you can see your A, B, C clearly. So that's general form. And it's important because when you do quadratic, you always want your equation to be in general form one, or maybe in vertex form in certain cases if it's like a graph question lah. Okay, but this one is in general form, so that's good. And then where p and q are constant, okay, and equal. Whoa, I see the keyword already. Equal roots, and then find p ratio q, and then find the value of p plus q. Okay, I think you have to find p and q separately first, then only you can find the sum, the plus together one. Okay, the keyword here is equal roots. So when it's equal roots, the discriminant b square minus 4ac will be 0. Yeah, equal roots means your b square minus 4ac equals 0. So that's what you will do now. Okay, and since your equation is already general form, you don't have to do anything extra already. Just straight away b square minus 4ac equals 0. But of course, if your equation not in general form, then convert to general form first, then baru buat ini formula. But now it's general form already, so just letak saja b square minus 4ac masuk saja. So b is the number before x, which is negative 7q. The q is included also. A is the number before x square is p. C is the 16p. Okay, some of you, maybe you are not very good at the algebra. So you don't know how to find the P ratio Q. Let me show you. P ratio Q is basically P over Q. Yeah, P ratio Q is basically P over Q. And how you find P over Q from here? Very simple. First, you jadikan P on one side, and then you jadikan Q on one side, and then you pindah lah. That's all. Okay. So again, what's the step? Jadikan P on one side, Q on one side. So let me show you how I do it. Okay, the negative 7q square, you get 49q square. Okay, because when you square the negative number, it becomes positive. And then the negative 4 times p will be negative 4p. But negative 4p times 16p will be negative 4 times 16 is 64. pp will be p squared like that. Right? But don't forget, we want p over q. And I told you already, you want the p on one side, q on the other side. So how to make it p on one side? So I think I will pindah this lah, so that it's both positive, right? So now it's like both side positive. 64 p square here, 49 q square here, right? Okay, now it's already p on one side, q on one side. So now we will work towards p over q. Okay, let's do for p square over q square first. Yeah, because that one we can do, right? Just move the q square over here. But the 64 have to move there. So the 49 never move, huh? So the 49 never move means the 49 duduk atas. And then 64 move, dia duduk bawah macam ni, right? Okay, continue from here. P square over q square, we can also write it like this, p over q square, because they both have square. So we can actually write it like this also. And then 49 over 64, we can't simplify, but it's okay because we can pinna the square. And when you square, it becomes square root. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root 64 is 8. So now you have your p ratio q. It's 7 ratio 8. Okay, one thing I want to mention, when you square root, actually got two answer, plus minus, right? But ratio tak ada negative. Yeah, ratio tak ada negative. That is why I didn't even bother writing the negative answer, because I will end up rejecting it anyway. So why waste time, right? So that's your answer for P ratio Q. But I'm not done. The soalan also asked to find value of P plus Q. So what I will do is I'll write dot 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 P ratio Q is 7 ratio 8, and then comma P plus Q equals 15, because 7 plus 8 is 15. So they will give you full mark here, right? Okay, hope you understand. That's how I would do the 15A. Now let's see what they want for B. Oh, this one also need a lot of space, man. Uh, uh, I'll just do it down here lah. B. Okay, find the range of values of x for the quadratic inequality 2x squared smaller or equals 1 plus x by using the number line method. Alright, this is under 2.1. Quadratic equation and inequality. Yeah. So what is inequality? Dalam bahasa Melayu is called ketaksamaan. It's when your quadratic equation, they replace the equal sign with the smaller bigger sign. And when they replace with the smaller bigger sign, you can have to use different method to solve it. And there's three method you learn. First one is the graph sketching method, graph sketch method. And then second is the number line method lah. And then there's one more, so number line. And then there's another one is the table method. Okay, and I realized something after doing so many trial paper. I realized this few years they like to ask the number line method or the table method. Okay, but most of the time, if the soalan never mentioned, we will just do the graph sketching method, because that's the most simple one and it's the fastest one to get the answer, right? But I see a lot of trial paper questions, they ask for the number line method and the table method. So your students that studying for SPM this year, you all have to be aware of this and make sure you know how to do all three methods. Okay, the number line and table also need to know. Okay, because they actually ask a lot. Like quite frequently they ask for the number line method and table method. Okay. Okay. Now it's number line method, so I'll show you the number line method. Okay. First of all, write down the equation first. Okay. At the same time, I will also pindah jadi general form. Yeah, because we will do that anyway later. So let's do it now. Plus x pindah jadi minus x, plus 1 pindah jadi minus 1, smaller or equal 0. Just solve it like how you solve a normal quadratic equation lah. Yeah, just press calculator. Yeah. For now is Simple one. For now, it's just the same as how you solve the normal quadratic equation. So the A is 2, press calculator, -1, -1. Okay, my calculator give me 1 and -1/2. Yeah, just write that normally. And then this one is x minus 1. This one is 2x plus 1. This one all of you know, right? Okay, but this one have to write smaller equals 0, right? But the equal here, you don't change to smaller. This equal have to be smaller. And now, if you do graph sketching method, you will do the graph and then -1/2 and then 1. And then if it's smaller, you load it here. Then the answer comes out already x in between -1/2, 1. But there's a line here, so just put the line. That's the answer. If you are doing graph sketching method, this is also the method that we will use if the soalan never request any method, right? But this question they ask for number line method, so of course I have to follow, right? All right, so number line method will be okay. You will end up with the same answer later also, but the number line method will be a bit slow lah. Okay, so draw a line lah, because it's called number line lah. And then potong here, here. The first one you potong, you write the small number, so -1/2, and then the other one, that's the one lah. And then I will cut it here and here using dotted lines. And then what I will write down here is the region represented by, I will write the inequality, or you can say I write the answer that represent this region. So the answer that represent this region will be x smaller than -1/2, because it's on the left side. And then the answer that represents this region right here, it will be x bigger than 1. And then here will be in between. So in between -1/2 and 1. And you can see they got put smaller or equals. There's a line here, right? So everyone also have to put a line like that. Okay. Okay, now I'm done. Now I can do what? I can choose a number that is smaller or equals -1/2. Okay, what is smaller than -0.5? -1. Okay, and then later the x -1, I have to sub inside this one, or this one also can. Sub into this, or this also can. Okay, both also can. Because this one is 2x plus 1. Okay, because this one come from here, so you can sub yang mana-mana pun boleh. Okay, and after you sub, you see whether you get negative number or positive number, and you record it down. Okay, so let's sub into the bracket one. So it become bracket x minus 1, so -1 minus 1, and then bracket again 2 times x plus 1, so it become 2 times -1, -2 plus 1. So let's see what I get here. -1 times 1, -1, -2, and then -1. So negative is 2, so it's positive. Okay, it's positive. Right? Okay, the next one, I have to choose a number that is between -1/2 and 1. So let's choose 0 lah. Okay, in between -0.5 and 1 so 0 lah. Okay, sub the 0 inside the bracket. So 0 minus 1 is -1 here. 0 times 2 is 0, so don't need to write that. 0 plus 1 is 1, and then you get -1. So this is a negative. Okay, negative. We only care about the sign, positive or negative. All right, we only want to record the sign, negative or positive. Okay, the last one, they want the x to be bigger than 1, so we can take 2. Okay, and then sub inside the first bracket. 2 minus 1, that would be 1, and then sub 2 here. 2 times 2, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 1 times 5 is 5, so that's the positive. Right? So now you are done with everything. Now you can look at here, because just now you sub inside the bracket, right? So now you have to look at the bracket smaller 0 or bracket bigger 0. If they want bracket bigger 0, then you take this and this for your answer, because that's the positive, that gives you the positive one. But now if you look at it, it's bracket smaller than 0, right? It means you want your bracket to come out negative. You want your bracket to come out smaller 0. You want your bracket to come out negative. That means your answer is this lah. Because this is the only one where it comes out negative just now. So the answer is x in between -1/2 and 1. So this is how you do the number line method, right? Okay, I'm at the last part C. Oh my god, my hand hurts so bad because I've been writing. I never take any break down. It's like this whole video I never stop at all. So it's like I try to do the whole in one shot. Okay, I never stop the recording button. I just, yeah. So I don't know how long I've been doing it already. Maybe 3 hours or something. Okay, let's finish it. Given a quadratic function gx equals a x minus b squared plus c. Oh, by the way, this is vertex form. Yeah, vertex form looks like this, right? And vertex form, usually we can get the turning point from the vertex form. And the way to do that is we will take our x coordinate from here, the y coordinate will be here, right? But we have to do something when we take it out. The x coordinate, when we take it out, we have to change sign. So the negative b will become b. And then the y coordinate would be exactly this, which is c lah, right? And is minimum or maximum, that one depends on the a value. If the a is positive, then is smiley face, then minimum lah. If a negative, then is sad face, maximum, right? Okay, they say maximum. Okay, so I know already this one is maximum point. Maximum point, right? So the maximum point is BC. Okay. If I read from the equation lah. Okay, they say maximum value is 10. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. The x coordinate of the maximum point, there's it's also the axis of symmetry. And the y coordinate of the maximum point, we also call it the maximum value. Or it could be minimum value depending on whether it's a minimum point or maximum point lah. But this one is maximum point, so the c is the maximum value. So again, one more time, the x coordinate will tell you the axis of symmetry, and then the y coordinate of the maximum point will tell you the maximum value. Okay. Hey, maximum value and maximum point is not the same. Huh? Maximum point is talking about the whole point xy, but maximum value is only referring to the y. Okay. So when they say maximum value of 10, what they are saying is the y coordinate is 10. It means c is 10 lah. C is 10. Okay. So later the answer C, third question, I know already. C is 10. Okay. Yeah. And then they say the symmetry is 4. Hey, do you know what it means? It means the BC, the BC is equals to 410. That's what it means. Okay. Yeah, because they said equation of axis of symmetry is 4. And I told you, right, the x coordinate of turning point, we call it axis of symmetry. So the turning point here is 410. But from the equation is BC. So B is 4, C is 10. So the B is 4 here. Okay, C is 10. Okay. And it's not negative B. Okay, because I took out under already, the negative B when I take out it's become positive B already. And since they say axis of symmetry is 4, so positive B is throws 4. Okay. And then let's see what they want to find. Number 1, the range of values of A. Okay, I think it's talking about this A, right? But they never ask you to find the specific exact value. They just ask you to find the range. Range is like a julat lah, like a julat. So we just the answer have to write bigger or smaller lah. So you all know already is the maximum, right? So your A is definitely less than 0 because maximum means the parabola is like that. The curve looks like this, okay, and it's like a set face, set face. So definitely your A is lesser than 0. So that's the range of A, and the value of B and C I already do it just now. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm done with the whole paper. Oh, finally, let's get it. All right. Hopefully, you all learn something from this video, and it helps you. And I hope this video helps you for your revision. All right. And also, uh, if you find my video useful, and if you want more, please subscribe. And I'll see you next video lah. Okay. Bye bye.